Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Apex Online Racing proudly presents the Indy 500. We saw the qualification yesterday. Now, can we see the beef and can we see winners taking the drink of milk today around the famous, of course, Indy 500? 200 laps of this insane speedway, and joining me in the comments box today is Soup Cooler.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Absolute honour to be part of this wonderful motorsport event. We're just counting down the minutes to the beginning of the race. These guys are just doing some practice now and getting their eye in and getting their setup dialed in, doing some high fuel runs. If you've missed qualification, probably best not to watch it now because it's an hour long. But just know, oh dear.
There's a tyre.
That's a wheel. That's a wheel.
Now that is a yellow car. It's a Thomas who's hit the wall.
Right. So now he knows his limits. But yeah, interesting qualification. 9,000 separated the pole sitter, Infinities, and Matty D. And that was an insane qualifying. Full grid for today. And this is, of course, split number 1. There is split number 2. That will not have coverage as far as I know. But it's going to be a brilliant race.
I am absolutely excited for this. Who knows what could go on here today? All we know is we could see accidents, we could see carnage. It's going to be a long, old race. Hopefully you'll be joining us in the chat as well for this 200 laps of absolute brilliance. Here looking at Big Kid Daddy going through, that is turn number 2. Now, of course, 500 miles, it's 505 in technicality, because we, of course, have 2 formation laps. Now I'll just give you a little rundown of what is going on there. The first one, we'll be seeing the drivers get into their grid slots, and the second one will be the official rolling start. 2x2, they will not be doing 3x3 here today, so expect to see a little bit less carnage light, of course, you see when they go 3x3, so expect to see the unexpected still. And will we see Infinity having a drink of that glass of milk? They're already so close together. This is practice, by the way. They're just loading their setups. And in comes Infinity. And there, just ahead of them there, one of the ABC AJ fight cars.
Yeah, Car Alex just ahead of him there. Expecting some guys to alternate their fuel. 30 to 40 lap stints, I think, is what we're expecting. So, we shall see plenty of pit stops throughout. 200 laps, so it's a long race. But whoever is victorious at the end of it will have that honour of being the ended winner on the PS4 side, of course. Now, counting down to the end of practice, and we'll have 2 formation laps before where they go into their grid slots that they ended up in last night. And then we shall begin the race.
Indeed. Excitement is brewing. And this could be a scene of some... Who will we see drinking that milk? Could it be Infinity? Could it be Mac? Could we see the likes of Vector, who starts down the back drinking that famous glass of milk? Who knows what we're going to see? Who will crash first? Who will retire? Will we see a retirement? All will be found out in a few moments' time. Of course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, not in Britain like it says on my screen there. It is, of course, in America. It is in Indianapolis, of course. And here we go, then. Ready on the grid, and we're already starting to roll, then. 2 formation laps will await us. So expect to see the likes of Matt and everyone getting themselves up into the lead already. And let's hope to see no incidents as well.
Yep, so we'll wait for them to form up. So they're currently under AI control, but once that happens, they'll be sorting themselves out into their grid slots 2x2, as you said, and the pole sitter will be Infinities. We're not going to see a grid start, as we're seeing right now, so they're just going to spread out and make sure they don't hit each other.
Oh, someone's actually crashed into the wall there, I believe, already. I believe on your left there, I believe one of the Doom livery cars slightly tapped the wall already. I'm not exactly too certain, but someone definitely tapped the wall. It might have been Infinity. Someone definitely, I saw smoke getting kicked up. Let's hope no incidents have happened already.
Right, so we should keep an eye on that. But Infinities will take the pole today, followed by Matty D right there, and followed by let's see, Fogarty. Then it should be H Racing Green after that, as far as I'm aware. But they could be lined up correctly at this point.
Infinity, Matt to Thomas, CF, Car, Noah, Josh. We've lost someone. We've got disconnection.
Yeah, we've got multiple disconnections. Yeah, lobby
multiple
restart coming
disconnections.
shortly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we have a major incident going on here.
Yeah, major issue. Major issue.
So, we will now have a restart whilst we're looking at who's going to be the last one to retire. Let's see. Oh, they're all disappearing. Here they go.
Yeah,
And-
massive desync.
Oh, dear. And well,
Yeah, the entire lobby has just crashed as far as we can see.
David Ben is the only one in the
David
race.
Ben is the
Congratulations. David Ben, we want to see a video. You're also Dut, so I think that's mixed with Vector. So Vector and David Ben have merged.
Right, so
Now, we'll
we
have
should
a
return to-
restart, unfortunately, there. We have a new lobby. I have just been told by Vectro a new lobby is being created. So we'll just have to wait a few moments.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think it was the fact that they had the formation lap on. I know there has been some issues with that, but drivers coming back and getting into the lobbies. So we're just waiting for our invites into the next one.
Yeah, we
But
shall wait a few moments.
while we're waiting, I shall ask the chat and yourself, Evil, who do you think is going to take the honours today?
Well, you have to say, it's going to be interesting. Matty D is going surely for a win here today. But we could see anything now. I have been just told by Matt, by the way. Now, I believe Matt has slightly butchered the lobby. Let's have a quick check. Selected the wrong start procedure. No, sorry, it was Thomas. Thomas set the lobby up wrong. So there we go. So we'll have to wait a few moments' time until we get back in. But I believe it could be interesting between the likes of Matty D Infinity. You have to wonder, could be winning this race. Matty D, Wolf saying Will Stevens. It could be interesting.
Yes.
Everyone's saying Infinity. Infinity looks to have the commanding vote here today. Malvinado could win this race as well. We never know. Pastor Malvinado out of absolutely nowhere. Now, whilst we just wait here, let me just go on here and just have a little check if we have everything correct. I believe invites is coming through.
Don't forget that we have also in tandem with this, we have the Xbox One and the PC side. So if you want to check how those guys are getting on, PC is going to be an insane race, by the way, because they have double the lobby capacity. So we're going to see a full 32
with a safety car.
Man grid with a safety car. We're also hearing that I would also say that any accident that happens today is Ericsson's fault.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ericsson
Vector
did
saying
it.
that the adrenaline is real. He's obviously really nervous. Yeah, various votes coming in there. If you just joined us, we are waiting on a lobby reset. So obviously do send your questions and comments in.
Indeed, it's going to be exciting. I'm just letting you have a little look at something that's different, by the way. That is Lee, of course. My Affinity screen. I'll just have for a minute whilst I show you all the images we've got here today. I believe the lobby should be created in a few moments' time. So we'll just keep you updated with that. Whilst I just show you that image, because that's absolutely beautiful. Just waiting a few moments' time, and hopefully we'll have the lobby open in just a few moments. But Soup, who do you think is going to win this motor race?
I definitely think it's going to be between Matty D and Infinities, but I mean, it's Indianapolis, anything can happen. We saw even J.R. Hildebrand last lap piled into the wall, and Dan Weldon ended up winning that race. So anything can happen in Indianapolis. So we shall wait and see. But I definitely think it's going to be Infinities as the hot favourite going into this race.
Indeed, you have to wonder if could he get a victory here today, but we never know. Anyone could win here today. But still, it's going to be a long race. 200 laps. Alex saying Jake will join mid-race and win. Well, you never know. Anything could still happen here.
Yeah, so I think they're just setting up the next lobby, making sure all the settings are correct this time.
Indeed, hopefully. We'll just get that loaded up in a few moments' time. In the background, you're just seeing a few images that we've collected here whilst we are waiting for the lobby to be created as well. Hopefully you're enjoying it here today, and hopefully you've had a nice, good day as well. Me and Soup are having a beautiful day as well in the beautiful, warm British summer here in the UK. Of course, Soup in Ireland. I don't know, how was the weather up there in Ireland, Soup?
I definitely just didn't look out my window. Relatively cloudy. With a pretty bad storm here the other night, but everything seems to be running okay now. So, yeah, it's really warm outside, really heavy. So obviously, I think we're going to see more thunderstorms. Why are we talking about the weather?
I don't know really, but we're just waiting for the lobby to be created yet. I believe still, there we go, to have received an invitation just there to the lobby. So we will be back in a few moments' time. There we go. Invitations have been sent and we are now joining the lobby.
So we're having a second attempt at this. So you can maybe take this moment to click subscribe, turn on notifications, and go check out the qualification, the last lap from Matty D. I would recommend you go and watch. It's only about a minute long at the end, but definitely a very climactic end to qualifying.
Dramatic at its very best. Hello to everyone who is just joining the chat below, and hello to Nightbot as well, who's joined us here today. Now, we've seen
would you mind sending me an invite?
Have you not got an invite? No. We'll just send Super the invite. Unfortunately, he's been denied the entry by the Thomas, but luckily I have you here today. And officially, AOR is now live, the PC race, so expect this to be interesting.
Yep. That's of course covered by King Kodiak and Hamish on that side.
Expect absolute carnage to go on here today. This could be the race to witness. But here today on the PS4, who could we see drinking the milk? I believe they're just talking in the in-game chat about what's going on as well. So that is why you can see those notifications there as well. So do get your messages down below, by the way. And who do you think could we see a surprise in this race?
We're having a second reset.
Are we resetting again?
Yeah, there's more issues.
So unfortunately, we're having some major issues here today.
Just one of those things, I suppose. I think they're just struggling to get drivers in at this point.
Well, this is incredible. So, some major incidents and stuff. Wrong settings.
Oh, of course.
Be careful of the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
just to let you all know, I am handing the start sequence to Evil. So if anything happens, it's his fault.
Yes, I have had a history of having commentators' curses, especially in the F3 tier. We had a pretty dramatic incident, didn't we, Soup, in F3 Hungary with a certain driver called Cookie, who I said was doing good and then promptly crashed into the wall. But hopefully let's not see a driver have an incident. Let's hope it's all nice and clean off the start.
Yeah, let's hope so.
There we go, it's getting a new lobby. Let's see, I believe, if we get the invitations back in. Just now, there we go.
It wasn't connection issues, it was just a setting. So
yes. Incorrect settings, of course. So we are just getting back in the lobby, and here we are.
Yeah, it looks like a 16-car grid for the PC side. So they're not. Don't think they're going to risk filling 32 slots in the grid, because I think that can cause some major connection issues sometimes.
Yeah, major connection issues. Let's hope nothing bad happens. Attempt number 03, says Wolf in the chat. Popcorn ready for lap run. Popcorn is ready here. I haven't got any popcorn. I should probably grab some popcorn, but yeah, no popcorn though. I've been told I haven't got any popcorn.
I literally used to say at the end of every AOR F8 race, grab your popcorn, and yet you refuse to do so. I'm disappointed. If you don't have your popcorn now,
you'll never get your popcorn.
You're never getting popcorn. You will suffer.
I will suffer the wrath of the popcorn lord.
Can I have an invite?
You need the invite. They just don't want to invite you. Everyone's in. They just don't want to. There we go. All right, Soup, let's get you in.
Ginger. It's cousin Ginger, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
that's it. Okay.
Oh, there we go. It's just happened. There we go. So attempt number 03. Let's see. They need to set me and you as the, of course, the broadcasting director again. Let's hope they do. Hashtag invite Soup. Let's get it trending, even though he's in the lobby. But let's get this ready to rumble.
Yeah, just waiting for us to be set as a.
VTC's left the session, so there's a few issues here. There we go, broadcaster. There we go.
And director needs to be set for me.
There we go, and that should be also there we go.
We're in for a late night tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, 3 hours at best, I believe this race should take. So we'll just wait a few moments' time. I believe we'll have another 5-minute practice session. Of course.
Just quickly check. Yes, indeed. And VTC is back, so we're about to get underway for attempt numero 3.
Yes, 3 attempts. And who knows what we could get.
I do appreciate that 25 people are currently watching us doing absolutely nothing. So
and here we are then.
So we're just asking what was wrong with the settings. I think there was no ready race input applied, so everybody was just immediately put on the grid without having their setups put on, which was the issue. So we should have had a 2-minute break before the car started rolling.
So that would explain why. That's interesting stuff to see, but let's hope everything is nice and good. Welcome to all 30 people here today so far. 60th comment as well. It goes to Wolf, of course. What was the wrong setting before? It was, like Soup just said, a few technical issues, perhaps, with them not setting the lobby up correctly. 2.49 miles this circuit is, which is, I believe, is wrong. I believe it should be 2.5, but I think it's like so minuscule. And here we are back on the grid. Another 5-minute practice here today. Then we'll just set all the drivers getting their setup on and perhaps making those final altercations.
Altercations? I hope not.
Yes, the other word. I can't remember what the word is.
Alterations.
There we go. Alterations, not altercations. I hope we don't have any altercations in the pit lane.
Here at AOR, we do not encourage altercations.
I think VTC is the oldest driver out here. No, at 59, says Sunday Racer. That is interesting to see. Now, I have been told, and I'm going to probably pronounce this again wrong, so apologies to who I'm going to probably pronounce this wrong, but Overdyking, I think it is pronounced.
I think it's Day.
Overdyking? I can't exactly remember how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
I got told to pronounce
that's what his Twitter
it
says.
But I'll probably pronounce that. Yeah, Overdyking.
I think we've lost someone.
Have we lost someone again? Now, who have we lost? Is it Vectro? No, there he is.
Vectro's still here.
Vectro's on our screen. So we've lost someone. Hopefully we'll get whoever has had an issue back in a few moments' time. Here we go then. 3 more minutes. So whoever it is, they need to get back in now. Otherwise, they may have some terminal issues. I'm trying to see who it is we've lost. But I cannot see. Unfortunately, that.
Not seeing it on my screen either, so
15 car start then it looks like. Unfortunately, we have lost one driver from this murder race. Let's hope we don't lose anyone else. The Vectro, he's going to be the first man, I believe, to set a lap here today at another DSQ. That is Jake Plays, or JKE, who's got DSQ'd, we believe. So that's interesting, but luckily I believe he should be able to get into the race.
Yeah, should be. So.
Oh, Vectro! Oh. My goodness, you don't do that in the race.
Better to do it in practice than in the race, that's for sure. Of course, we have to cut him some slack. He is racing on a pad, which is notoriously hard to do, especially on an oval.
Yep, an oval. Oh, that's a bit of a slide there. Now, who is that who's behind
that should be
him?
Manny D behind them, as far as I can see.
Yeah,
now, this is a good practice for them, because they can practice running in the draft. and
Now,
see
I
how the car
know
handles.
Matt and Infinity did 80 laps together, and they were side by side, basically, for 80 laps. That's not going that come. Oh dear, that's just having a bit of a lag spike. There we go. It's CF who was getting back in.
Mr. Fogarty. So he's back in.
Fogarty, back in again. 2 minutes to go here in qualification. Well, not qualification, practice. Oh dear, that's right.
So
Matt's going up the inside.
Oh dear.
Dear, if they collided. Where's Vectro?
Has Vectro made it through?
We have.
Yes.
I thought for a second he just speared into the back of him. Oh, we might not in a minute. Oh.
We've lost somebody again.
So it's not Fogarty who's disconnected then. So we've narrowed that down. So someone is having major issues here today.
I can't really see who it is. Is it H Racing? No, it's not H Racing Green. Actually, that is Vectro is getting a little bit hounded here.
Yes, he is being hounded by the big dogs. And around the outside,
Alex around the outside.
Alex in his AJ Fight, of course, Vector driving Ed Carpenter's livery.
Yep, for, of course, Ed Carpenter Racing.
Yes. And, oh dear, we got that. Someone in the wall. That's Infinity. That's Infinity. Oh dear, Vector. That's Infinity's scum.
I thought it was Joshua Luke who'd left, but no. Still trying to figure out who actually is gone. But
yeah. They are not going to get back in.
They're not going to get back in, so that's a real shame for them, whoever it is.
So whoever it is, it's going to be a 15 person start for the Indy 500 here on the PS4. Unfortunately, we've lost one driver due to a disconnection or some kind of issues.
Yeah. So 30 seconds left, so one more lap for every driver pretty much.
And let's see, and Infinity goes up to a 38.5. That's an incredible lap, even for practice. He is pushing that car. Now,
that's on high fuel as well.
We saw a low 38, I believe, wasn't it?
38.31, I think, is what we saw in qualification yesterday.
Off.
Yeah, on high fuel. Of course, these guys are running the minimum amount of fuel required for 3 flying laps.
There we go then.
Oh, that's Infinity's in the wall. Big impact.
That is a horrible impact there, and he rejoins, just goes across circuit. Now, we do not want to see that. I think he's done that, of course, deliberately, just to get it out of his system. Passes the mechanic back in the pit lane. Now, let's see. Hopefully this time we'll have a proper start, and we'll actually get ready to go here in the Indy 500. Just watching across the line go to Thomas, and a bit of lag there as well. Someone's crashed down the straight as well, because I see a spring in the middle of the straight. There's David Ben across the line. He's 6th, stays 6th there, and there's that spring, like I said. Hopefully you're sitting comfortably, though, aren't you, down in the chat as well?
Yeah. So there you have it. So whoever has disconnected is unfortunately not going to make the start. Which is a real shame for such a big race.
I unfortunately can't tell you who it is, unfortunately. Hopefully we get told who has disconnected. It's over to Kink.
Over there, Kink, yeah.
Oh, he rejoined. I don't know if he got in, though. It'll be interesting to see if he has got in completely. Now we just wait a few moments' time until the race starts. So Infinity, it will be on pole ahead of Matty D then. So expect loads to line up there. Then I believe it'll be Deck Thomas in 3rd. Expect the unexpected here today.
Oh, yeah, I'll quickly get the grid order up for you all, just to avoid any confusion. So we will have Infinities on the pole, Manny D alongside, then we'll have De Thomas and H Racing Green sharing row 2. Noah will be in 5th alongside Car Alex. MPC will start P7, Fogarty in P8. Owen TQ will be P9, and P10 will be Joshua Luke. Thomas Ethan will start on P11 alongside David Ben. Then we'll have Overday Kink, who is
Overday Kink, so actually it's pronounced. I've just been told.
Overday Kink, okay. So, and VTC will then get promoted to P13. Big Kid Daddy P14, and Vector will then line up P15.
So expect them to their correct grid slots as we start the Indy 500 of 2 formation laps. Of course, the the famous balloons have probably just gone off there, but unfortunately we can't see them. We're looking at Hate Racing Green there in P1.
I would recommend you get yourself comfortable. We're in for a long race.
A long race where anything can happen and will happen here today. Expect the unexpected. Expect glory. Expect tragedy. Expect absolutely everything. And let's see, who are we going to get everyone to ready up? That's the more crucial thing. They have just under 2 minutes to all ready up. Let's hope to see them all doing it.
Yeah, because automatic disqualification. If so, the game will kick you out. So we're about to get underway for the first of the formation laps. Everybody has readied up. So now this is not the race start, just to avoid any confusion. This is going to be the opening formation lap to get everybody into their positions. That is a fantastic camera angle. There is your various splits and speed up on the screen. So they'll swap into their grid slots.
Beginning of the Indy 500 formation lap, of course. 2 of them, and let's go and see, is everyone going to make sure they get themselves in the correct... Oh, there's crash in the back. There is a crash in the back. We have carnage on the opening formation lap. That is, who is that involved? That is one of the yellow cars.
That's Thomas. And Penske. And Matty D, I think, was involved as well. Now, hopefully they haven't picked up any damage from that.
Yeah, they're going to have damage. I think someone's got damage down the back. Let's hope we haven't seen too much incident.
Yeah, there's a missing front wing there. Look at Will Power.
Yeah, Will Power's car now is... Who is that, crucially? That looks to be Noah.
Yeah. Now, that is pretty clumsy, to say the least, to break your front wing on the formation lap.
And he'll have to pit, so that is his race. Almost certainly he was going to pass the leaders, and I believe we might have an aborted start here.
Yeah, we may have to wait an extra lap.
Thomas also involved, we believe.
Yep. Yep, that was... let's quickly check the Thomas. With the brilliant camera angle we're seeing here. Just hold on a moment. There it is. Let's get on the roof. No damage, as far as I can see.
We might have an aborted start here. I don't know. Then comes Noah into the pit lane. We'll have one more formation lap after this. So to Thomas, if he does it right, he might come back out and get out near the lead. But this is looking like a dire situation for Noah.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he's going to be underway. He's going to be starting at the back.
Yes, he should be starting at the back now, but let's find out. So there we go, everyone side by side, and this will be for the second formation lap then.
2 by 2, just like Noah's Ark. Just in a very, very different situation. So, second formation lap, everybody making sure they're in their grid slots. And it will be Noah lighting up at the back, we believe, after his pit stop. Let's just make sure he can get out in time.
Harry coming out
he's on his way.
So he
will make it.
Just make it. It's going to be close.
Yeah, well, he will make the start. It looks like he's not going to go a lap down.
No, it does have start at the back. Yes, confirmed.
Right, so that he was going to be starting up in. He's going to be starting quite far up the grid. He's going to be starting P5. That's a big blow to his chances.
But still, anything can happen. So let's see. All the drivers will be going 2 by 2. In the background, you might just see Noah coming to the back of the field in a few moments' time. Let's hope he does do so. Where is Noah? If we can have a quick check down the back.
Let's just quickly have a look before we begin the start. He's going out of the pit lane.
He's going to get a massive run here. So Noah could come through this field quite quickly. He's going to have to be careful. But as they go 2 by 2 out of the last corner to begin the Indy 500. 500 miles, 200 laps. Who are we going to see drinking the milk? As here we go then, those cars are rolling. And I'm going to say in the words of a NASCAR race, not an IndyCar race, but I'm going to say it. Brace your ears, because Let's Go Racing, and it's boogity boogity boogie. Let's Go Racing here. We're going to line correctly here in the Indy 500. Everyone clean away though, but it's Matt and Infinity leading up front then. Infinity leads into turn number 1, the head of Matt. Hate Racing Green there, and everyone seems correctly through behind then. But Infinity leads from Matt, Hate Racing to Thomas, Carr, Alex, Limit, NPC, Joshua Luke, Fogarty. David Ben already look at H Racing coming through. He's already having a look at second position as he goes down the inside then in turn number 3. Has he got the move done? Yes, he does. No battling going on.
He's in the wall. He's in the wall.
Taps the wall. But all clean for him straight away. But Infinity, good start for him. Already opening that gap up immediately.
Yeah, great start from everybody. Oh, we've got a car on the wall. That's the Thomas in the wall on lap number 1.
The Thomas out of the race. Must be careful. Oh my goodness me. Noah
was very lucky.
Almost wiped out there. And the opening race, the Thomas like out already then in big trouble. Debris will be we've got a spinner. We got a spinner. Who is that? That is going to be over Die King. Is he going to hit the wall? I don't think he has.
They kept it clean on the opening lap, but certainly not on lap 2. Here we go. Vectro looking on the outside.
Up to 8.
Yeah, it's a great start from Vectro.
Fogarty's got damage, I think.
Let's just see. Let's see. Ethan under pressure from... That'll be Big Kid Daddy here. Now, does he...
Oh my goodness! My goodness me! Oh God! Huge drama here on the Indy 500. Huge drama. 3 cars wiped out. We told you it could happen. Oh my goodness me!
God!
1 car, 2 car, 3 cars. There's going to have to... Oh, he's upside down. That's an upside down car. They're going to have to surely abandon this. That's going to be dangerous. He's going to have to get that car off the grid immediately. The leaders are going to come round. They're going to see a car in the wall. He's in the wall. Infinity's taps the wall immediately. The debris absolutely everywhere. The car upside down in the middle of the circuit. 1 car to the inside. They're Thomas out. Big Kid Daddy out. Tyres flying everywhere in the background. What drama we have here on the Indy 500.
Infinity's has got damage, he's under pressure, but Manny in the wall. Here comes H Racing Green starting to challenge the leader. Oh, that was a horrific crash.
My goodness gracious me. No yellows, of course. This is a fight to the death, but H Racing Green has a massive chance here of taking the lead. He could take the lead here. Infinity's wounded like an animal here. And can we see H Racing take the advantage here?
Good defence from Infinity's into turn 3. It affected H Racing Green's run out of turn 4. So now Matty D can start the challenge.
Matty D coming through. Now, can we see a change here up into the lead? In the background there, one of the other cars making a move. I believe that might be Joshua Luke. Yes, it is going down the inside, I believe, there on... That is MPC.
Yep, good move into P5. He's making his way up through the field, so back to the front then. Look at Infinity's going defensive. H Racing Green falls.
Behind them, Matty D following suit very close, though. There we go, on board with H Racing Green. He could taste a little bit of milk potentially here, but loads of 3 drivers. I do not believe the Thomas is out of this race. I don't believe Fogarty is well.
Thomas Ethan on the inside.
Thomas Ethan out of this race, I believe, too, with major drama as well. But H Racing Green.
Look at the run Matty D's got. Oh, had to back out of that one.
Everyone getting very close. Top 3 all together then on lap number 8 of 200. Well, lap number 6 in theoretical. So we're on lap 6 currently. So only a little bit of a way through. And Matty D in 3rd, but up front, Infinity, H Racing, Matt. Huge drama, though.
Oh, look at H Racing Green. He's so close to the back of Infinity's running into turn 3. But he needs the run and it's not getting it. And Matty D's capitalising. And look who's posing up. That's Car Alex right behind him.
This is getting exciting. Everyone closing up as well, but all the top 8 have got clean away, luckily, though. So top 8 clean. We've lost 3 drivers. You might lose 4 as in the wall goes AJ Foyt's car there slightly.
Yeah, oh, look at the run that Matty D's got. He's got a good run. We've got a car on the inside there getting out of the way. Very nicely. H Racing Green looking to the inside of turn 3. Just couldn't quite get the run he needed. Now look at the touch wide, very wide through turn 3. He's going to be vulnerable. But gets the run out of turn 4. Now he needs the run down towards turn number 1 to have any chance, but it just got cancelled out by his poor run through turn number 3.
Absolutely incredible.
Car getting lapped behind there. I think that's Big Kid Daddy who's getting lapped there. Well, let's see. This is where these two get the run that they need. Look at Infinities. He knows. He goes defensive to the inside and then pulls back to the outside to make sure he gets the line into turn number 3. And it's just so difficult to run in that dirty air.
Incredible pace. We have got confirmed Ethan is out of the race.
I Let's see, just quickly check on Joshua Luke. He's chasing after car Alex behind. Let's go back to the front though. Look at H Racing Green a bit closer this time. Trying to look at the inside through turn number one. Alongside they go through turn one.
My goodness.
Inside goes H Racing Green. Look at Infinity's on the outside, still holding on the outside. I think H Racing Green is into the lead of the Indy 500.
He's done it, but he's gone wide and up high. Can we see Infinity come back through? H Racing squirming on that throttle and trying to open the gap. Can we see Infinity come back through? Low, he's having a look. Izzy backs off this time, Low. Now he has to concentrate and get back through. He's going wide. Oh, he's tapped the wall. Someone's gone off at the last corner, by the way. Debris absolutely everywhere.
Just have a quick glance. Not quite sure who that is. I think that might have been Big Kid Daddy. Look at Matty D now trying to challenge Infinities.
Someone in the pit lane, like you said, yes, Big Kid in the pit lane, but Matty D now piling on the press as well. Infinity has a wounded car and struggling as well. And this is huge drama.
We almost have a five-way battle for P1 as Car Alex and Joshua Luke start to close up because these guys are battling. But they need to get the move on because H Racing Green is building a small gap.
We have to believe Ethan has managed to get back out on circuit now. So he is going to try and continue.
Yeah, now Car Alex in the draft of Matty D. Now just go back to David Ben for a moment. He was very close to the back of NPC for a moment. And actually,
Vectro.
Yeah, he's coming.
David Ben's got damage.
Yeah, he's going, and through goes Vectro into P7.
Intriguing stuff there, as David Ben has damage as far as we're aware. Behind him is, of course, the likes of Obadiah King, and then De Thomas, and then the other Thomas. Of course, well and truly down the field, but up front, Matty D, Infinity and H Racing Green in the reverse order of what I said, because H Racing Green is so far leading the Indy 500 ahead of Infinity, ahead of Matty D. Then behind we have Car Alex and Joshua Luke. Behind them is NPC. You can just see in the distance there, that yellow car just sitting there down at the back. Yep,
and Car Alex is just not able to get up close to Matty D because he's having to fight off Joshua Luke. And look at Matty D pulling to the inside, trying to get some clean air over the car. The temperatures must be skyrocketing in that car.
Indeed, this is surely going to be one of those races we can see going to the flag here. 3, 4, 5 cars separated by just around about 1.6 seconds here. Incredible stuff. Joshua Luke having a little look, and Car Alex, as they come to turn number 1, has to sit behind just Low right now.
Yep, so for now, everybody's sitting behind it, and Infinity's pulled time on H Racing Green there. He's actually pulled 2/10 in that first corner, so H Racing Green has had a bit of a mare through there. Let's see if he can challenge up towards turn number 3. And let's see if he can get that run out of turn 4. Oh, Matty D very wide.
Oh, he's got away with that one. That's going to put under pressure. Matt's going to be under huge pressure from Car Alex here. That is a critical mistake. Here he is in the slipstream.
Here he comes.
Alex goes to the inside. We're going to have a change for the podium. Matty D, is he going to lose it now? Down the inside goes Alex. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Matt's forced out wide. This might put him under pressure from Joshua Luke as well.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Joshua Luke. He's looking threatening. He needs the run at a turn 2 to have any chance of challenging Matty D here. Let's see. Pink and white car. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it because Matty D's got good straight line speed in that car there. So no challenge just yet. Back up front, Infinity still right on the tail of H Racing Green.
And we're on lap number 16 of 202. Well, 200 laps, of course, officially, but we have 2 formation laps. We are coming on lap 40.
Matty D's out of the
no! Matty D's out of the race! My goodness me, he's out of the Indy 500 on lap number 14! My goodness me, what has happened to him?
He's hit the wall side on. That's a huge loss to the race. And look at Vector's up to P5.
Well, let's get Matty D into the party then, if we can. And
we should. I don't even know if he'll want to talk about that.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see if we can get him in then. But Infinity currently in P2, H Racing in P number 1. Car Alex up to 3rd, NPC up to 4th. Vectro up to 5th. 12 runners so far in the Indy 500 have been absolutely colted then from 16 to 12, and we're only a quarter, well, not even a quarter, a tenth of the way through this race.
Infinity's definitely piling on the pressure here on H Racing Green for the lead of the Indy 500. And Infinity's lapping half a second quicker than Car Alex behind him. So these guys are absolutely flying at the front. That was a bit of a mistake from H-Racing Green. He's had to go defensive into turn 4. Infinity's going to try on the outside of turn 4. It's an awkward place to do it. And that's going to be a good move. H-Racing Green had to leave the space. So down towards turn 1. Can H-Racing Green come back at him? Infinity's just about ahead. And he's going to be able to hold on to that. That was a stunning move.
Infinity can only just dream of what's happening. He's got ahead of H-Racing again. But it's not over yet. Can H-Racing come back through the field?
Yeah, Infinity's doing his old trick, going defensive to the inside and pulling back to the outside. This battle is most certainly not over, and all of this battling is allowing Car Alex to just close up a little bit on these guys.
Incredible. But I have to say, shout out to Vector. He started in 16th mind and is now up to 5th. Yeah.
So I think we just had a car in the pit. H-Racing Green is very close.
Yes, Joshua Luke in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's Joshua Luke. I think he might have had contact with Matty D.
It may be. We didn't see it. The H-Racing Green in second so far, and Infinity up front. Fogatilo, well, we believe, is out of this race completely because he's still in the pit lane right now, unfortunately. And these guys are coming to lap
huge incident.
To, I believe, is that Big Kid, or is that someone else that they're coming up to?
I think.
It might be David Ben. They're going to come to lap.
It is.
Yes, it is. David Ben there in huge trouble here. He had, I believe, something happened to him because he was going really slow a few laps ago. And he's still struggling here today as the top 3 fly to catch him up. Well, the top 2 are so far so clean away.
And do remember that in IndyCar, the cars who are a lap down are not entitled to move over.
Yes, it's up to the discretion of the driver. Let's see, are they going to be playing ball today, though?
Yep, so they're entitled to keep themselves on the lead lap.
Pulls
if possible, H-Racing Green going dummied to go in the pit lane. I think he might have had a little bit of damage. He's dropped a long way back from Infinity's.
Indeed, Infinity's going well, though. He's trying to get past David Ben, who is not letting him through straight. He's actually kind of holding him up slightly.
Look at this.
Infinity is going to be furious. Move over, he says. I'm the leader. Get out of the way. But David Ben is not having absolutely any of it. He's keeping it. Now he lets him through. Now he decides, okay, I'm letting you through. I don't want to fight this anymore. But look how much Infinity's opened up to H-Racing. Vectro catching to MPC. This is the battle for 4th position.
Vector driving an absolute blinder. He kept himself out of that scrap earlier, and that massive accident. So now he's really putting the pressure on MPC here.
Well, could we see Vector get past and get up to 4th? We're currently a 10th of the way through. 10% of this race is completed.
Vector very close to the back. And remember, he's running on a pad, looking to the inside of turn 2. No move on for him yet. Up front, they're getting closer again. We'll keep an eye on this one for a moment as Vector looks to the inside on the exit of turn number 2. And here he goes, drafting past the car of NPC alongside towards turn number 3. I think he's going to have this move easily done and into P4.
Well, my goodness me.
Back to the front, H-Racing Green on the outside.
And it's not over yet. This is going to be going a long, long way. H-Racing Green now backing up into Infinity. Well, the other way, I suppose, catching up.
Oh, he's trying to decide which way to go. And he's got to go to the outside of turn 3. No move on for him yet, just had a little look.
Indeed, well, my goodness me, we believe we might have Matty D join the party in a few moments' time, of course, to say what happened to him, of course, to all of you. But here we go, H-Racing Green. He's going aggressive. He's going to the outside line. Infinity squished to the inside. Can he do around the outside? That's going to be brave. All the way. Can he do it? And I don't think he is. Yes, still almost side by side, but it gets squeezed off just on the exit. Still, though, in the slipstream. They're coming down to turn number 3. A long, long slipstream. And here we go. He's going defensive. He's going to the inside again. But I think so far Infinity just has the opportunity just to relax a tiny bit. But you can't do it driving 220 miles an hour around this circuit. At any moment, anything can go wrong. We've seen the massive crash on lap number 5 or 6, was it not? wiping out 3 or 4 cars. Luckily for some of them, they've managed to stay in the race, but here goes H Racing. He's going to the inside again, is he not? Let's see, can he do it? Into turn number 1. Oh my goodness me, has he got it? I think, yes, he's back through into the lead of the Indy 500. Yes, he has got it finally, but what's out for Infinity? Can he come back through? Slipstreaming down the straight. Now defending goes H Racing Green. They're still side by side. Look at this. This is incredible. But I think finally H Racing Green has the line and just about holds it off for a second.
Yeah, great battle, and it's certainly not over because Infinity's got the run out of turn 4. So let's see as we run down towards turn number 1. Is H Racing Green going to squeeze him to the wall? Yes, he is. Squeezing. And let's see, Infinity's to the inside of turn 1. Is he going to be able to just slip it up the inside once again? Yes, H Racing Green holding it on the outside towards turn 2. I think there's contact. Oh, they hold it together. Infinity's on the inside. H Racing Green on the outside. Can he still hold on through turn 2? I think he's still there, but Infinity is still alongside. And look who's coming behind.
Alex and all of them coming up because they've got damage. These guys have got damage, I believe. He's through again, up into the lead of the Indy 500. H Racing back to second. Look at Alex and Vectro closing up on this lot as well. Vectro's some 18 seconds in 4th. These guys have an incident. We could have Vectro leading the race.
We're coming up towards the pit stop territory now. We're 27 laps, well, 25 laps in to this race. We should see a couple of stops in about 5 laps time for some people. And David Ben, he was able to close up on all this after all of that. But let's just go to NPC, who's making a stop. Just in there. And yeah, Thomas Eaton is still running around.
There he is, just passing by there. It was a beautiful shot there down the straight. And there is the Thomas down in 9th. He is just behind the other guys there up front and up the inside there. There's a move there for Joshua Luke, having a battle there with De Thomas, and Joshua Luke up into the wall there.
That is still not De Thomas. That I think is a lapped car, as far as I can see.
It is De Thomas. No, it is a lapped car.
This is the battle.
That is De Thomas going off the road.
That was interesting. Back to the front. Look who's there. Car Alex.
Alex, now it's a free race scrap for the lead of the race. This is getting intense. Can we see Alex get involved in this scrap here? As H Racing now slightly dropping behind here. He's actually behind, I think that's David Ben. Oh, he's in the wall! Oh, God, what have I said? He's in the wall and out of the Indy 500. Surely there. Huge accident.
I think he was trying to come into the pits.
Well, whatever it is. He's out of the race. I don't think can he get that car started again.
Vectro's into 3rd.
Vectro up to the podium now. This is incredible.
He's going to be making a stop next lap by the looks of it. 5.5 litres of fuel. Oh, what absolute scenes. 10 cars left running.
Now, we have a request here from Matt if you can send him an invite again because he has not received it.
Alright. So obviously my first invite didn't go through.
Let's hope we get it, but this is insane. Infinity leads from H Racing, Vectro, Overdye King up to 4th, David Ben in 5th, NPC in 6th, Josh to Thomas. Then we have the normal Thomas. Then we got Big Kid and Cole Fogarty in 11th, but out of this race there is 2 cars coming to that pit lane. Oh, that is Big Kid and also to Thomas heading into the pit road.
Onto pit road comes the Thomas with a missing front left. And,
maybe getting pushed by Big Kid there for a second, actually.
There's a lot of cars making stops.
Look at all these cars in the pit lane. Overdye King in the pit lane. There he is, just coming back out as we said. And there is Matty D.
Yeah, hello.
Talk us through what happened. We just saw...
well, I don't really know. It was a really, really weird start. I did a couple of laps earlier with Infinity, and the track conditions were fine. Like I was able to take turn 1, 2, 3, 4 flat. I was setting good times, and then when we got to the start of this race, from about lap 2, 3, I just couldn't take any corners flat. I had to lift halfway through, and I was shifting down to 5th. And the rear was all over the place. I could not keep it in a straight line, really. I was going to hit the wall at some point, trying to keep up with Infinity and H Racing, and sadly it happened, and then I took Josh with me, which was a shame.
Now we wondered, didn't we, what happened to Joshua Luke and if they actually made contact?
He had nowhere to go. I completely dropped it. Well, I think it was lap 16. I was in front of Alex, and then I had a massive moment through turn 3. Dropped position to him.
Apparently, something's going on with Infinity, actually, because in the chat, a few people are saying that potentially there's something going on with him. In the
He's
chat.
lagging.
Ah, is he lagging?
He is having a bit of lag, yeah.
Ah.
Right, fair enough.
Yes, but there's not much we can do about that at this point.
Now, just one question for you, Matt,
go for
if
it.
I may. Did you see the crash down at turn 4? I mean, I presume you passed the upside down car. I think it was Fogarty upside down there.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment when there was because we had me, H Racing Green, and Mark all literally nose to tail, and I didn't see it literally until the last minute until Harry pulled out, and I was like, shit, now move. But yeah, sorry for my language. But yeah, there's nothing I could do about that. I was going to hit the wall at some point.
Unfortunately, it happened in such a flawless race.
It's just a shame. It's a shame I took Josh with me because Josh was looking good in P4.
And I believe Josh out of this race. He's currently in P7 so far.
No, I think
there he is. Here he is, 7th position on our screen so far. The man of the hour. But the man, I'd say, opinion on it. Vectro up into P3 currently.
It's impressive. Considering he's doing that on a controller as well, it's very impressive.
Indeed, well, incredible stuff in front of this 400,000 packed spectators just watching this race, and of course only 10 drivers, 34 laps in, but what are you thinking of next? Of course, the next race will be, I believe, at Le Mans in a few weeks' time. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. That's a less temperamental car to use. This one's very fragile. If you hit the wall a tiny amount, you've got a lot of damage, and if you get, I think it's about 1 front wing damage, you're not able to keep up with the car ahead, and it's literally if you touch the wall, your race is over. So Le Mans will be a lot more straightforward. I'm looking forward to racing Ollie because I know he's going to do that. So yeah, that'll be good fun. Then I've got F4 tomorrow, F3 sorry.
Yeah, of course, F3 tomorrow, and talking about the Le Mans race, of course, the DLC for Project Cars should be out by then, so if you can you give us a little tip perhaps you might be using?
It's not all confirmed yet, we are still talking about it, but as far as I'm aware, we won't be using them, because they are DLC. And obviously, I think they're probably going to be paid DLC.
Yes, they are.
As far as I'm aware, it will be GTE and LMP2.
Interesting. LMP2 and GTE then. That could be interesting stuff to see.
Obviously, this is all yet to be confirmed.
Yet to be confirmed. Now,
one final question. Can Ollie make it to the Pro Draft?
Ooh.
In your opinion?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes, he can.
Well, thanks for joining us, Matt, and good luck in Le Mans and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
Meanwhile, look at H Racing Green.
Yeah.
He's currently got
I was
just
trying to chime in at some point there because himself and Infinity's made contact, and now H Racing Green has got damage.
So that's why I did notice in the chat there was a JKE Place talking about there, but
oh dear!
In the wall. Who is that?
NPC in the wall.
Right in front of him. That surely is a hard to map. His tyre is gone. There is a tyre. That is another car. That was a lucky puppy there for Joshua Luke.
That was a nasty accident.
My goodness me. And he's about to hit the wall again. Oh, wants to not spin that one. That is another one in huge drama. But if H Racing does have damage, can Vectro capitalise on this? Alex, I believe, is out of this race as well. If we can perhaps get him in. If we can.
See. I think the closest we have on track is probably between Joshua Luke and David Bain, who's just a little bit up the road from these guys. But Joshua Luke is all over H Racing Green, trying to get past.
Indeed, so I'll talk about that and we'll do attempt to get Alex in here. He did have damage. He has corrected the damage in the pit lane, so that is why. But he is struggling, though.
Yeah, he's struggling on this opening stint. I'm just going to check how much fuel he has.
55.
Probably just struggling to keep up with...
Cherry 2 Pie, by the way, just updating everyone in the race. Saying, where's Matt? We just spoke to him there. He had a horrible accident just a few moments ago there, down at turn number 4. He has just been checked. We can safe to say he is okay.
Yeah, so... I think Hector's Green is starting to come back a little bit now. Let's check his lap time next time by. There we go, that's more like it.
Now he's, well, he's behind him, 17 seconds. Vector is catching in the wall there. Now, who is that? That, I believe, is that... I don't know who
Thomas
that...
Ethan.
Ah, is that Ethan who just tapped the wall there? Yes, it is. Just slightly grinding that wall there. Now, blue flags, of course, would be raving in real life right now, but in the game, he has no obligation to get past, so H Racing's going to have to do it. Or if he doesn't want to lift off too much.
Joshua Lucas hit the wall.
Off, into the wall, out of the race. Joshua Lucas out of the Indy 500 and into space. Vector's in second.
Oh, disaster. That was an absolute disaster.
Goodness me.
My goodness me.
And in comes Joshua Luke. I think he's involved. Got a damage potentially from that.
Yeah, he hit the wall beforehand.
H Racing Green in the chat. Absolutely livid.
Wow. Absolutely unbelievable.
I've never seen something like that in my life. Now, getting too much dirty. I think there was contact with Ethan as well. I'm not too certain what happened.
Oh my
Down to 9 drivers, and we're not even quarter of the way through this race.
We're going to end up with nobody at this rate.
Maybe. Can we see Vector win this thing?
Imagine the scenes. Infinity's, he's having a nice drive up front right now.
But let's not curse it.
Let's not curse it. He was lucky to make it through all of that carnage, and now he's led from pole. And is setting the timing boards alight with his lap times. So really his only contender on pace is now out of the race.
Yeah, so that could be, unless something happens. For God's sake, let's hope it doesn't. But let's hope he can stay leading this race. And MPC in the pit lane, Fogarty in the pit lane, David Ben and Joshua Luke all in the pit lane so far. Fogarty out of this race. I believe MPC might be out of this race too.
Let's quickly check. Yep, still in this pit box. Nice shot of Vector going past. That's Joshua Luke coming out of the pits there. Fixing his damage, still going. But Vector is almost a lap behind at this point.
Yeah, the Dutchman doing a brilliant job. I don't know where Infinity's from exactly, but I know Vector is Dutch. I believe Infinity might be British, but don't quote me on that.
I think he's also Dutch, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, well, it could be a Dutch 1-2 so far here today, then. This will be incredible for the
Dutch.
Dutchman.
A Dutch 1-2-3, you mean?
Yes, incorrect. Yes, I'm sorry, incorrect by me. It is a Dutch 1, 2 and 3. Well, that is incredible. Oh, it might not be. Oh, Overdrive Kingdom has hit the wall. Almost cursed that one. Luckily, just about avoided that one. 40 litres. How much fuel's Vectro got, though? He should have around about 40 as well. There we go. 41, and Infinity has around about 40. Well, 39.9.
Right, so Vectro is going to lead this race at some point.
Yes, maybe. Just.
Yeah, by maybe a lap. Maybe just one lap, but it'll be enough after starting down the back to now be in P2. He's on for a fantastic result either way. But now, we had a great opening start to the race with 5 drivers fighting for the lead. But I'm afraid I think we're in for another 150 laps of just watching some cars going around an oval, unfortunately.
Well, indeed. Hopefully we can get some of the drivers in that retired. If you do want to rejoin, if you've retired from the race, do let us know down the chat. We'll try our best to get you in the session. Well, to talk as well. There's not a lot of action going on right now. We're watching Infinity leading this race ahead of Vector, Overdie King in third, Joshua Luke, David Bender, Thomas. Then we have Ethan, who has a penalty as well. Can we have a quick check of what that's for? If we can on our little timing screen, if we can too.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word you just said.
Ethan has a penalty. If we can potentially get the race director thing up and see, well, there we go. 10 seconds, speeding in the pit lane then.
Right, let's go back to the top. This is a fight for fifth.
There we have a fight still on between De Thomas and David Ben here for fifth and sixth position. Let's see if De Thomas can get past David Ben. David Ben slightly pulls to the inside. De Thomas has the outside line. They're getting a bit close down into turn number 3, but David Ben just about holds his line, and nice and clean so far. These guys haven't really well, they've been involved in other people's accidents, so good to see that they are at least managing to have a nice race.
Yep. And Vector quite off the pace actually. Over Dyke Kink is going very quickly behind.
Indeed, everyone is going very quick, and behind them, Ethan is catching these guys, I think. No, he's not. He's actually dropping a bit of time as well. They might be catching if these guys battle too much here. De Thomas having a look here on David Ben. Just had a look down into turn number 2 as David Ben ran a little bit too high up to the wall. Luckily, though, they got away with that one scot-free. They don't know how many times they can get away with that one, though, do they, Soup?
No, definitely not. 9 drivers left after 46 laps. Not quite what you want to see, unfortunately, but that's what happens.
Indeed, 8 runners, like you said, Fogarty out of this race. And of course, the last retirement we just saw was, of course, H Racing Green involved in an incident with Ethan there, closing the door slightly in front of him, causing a spin into the wall there. Unfortunate to see there. And Fogarty got DSQ'd.
Right. Speeding in pit lane.
I'm just reading it there. Speeding pit lane after being squeezed at turn 1, hitting the wall, gutted, but definitely needs a safety car. Just a Racky race list. This is a Racky race for De Thomas, having looked to the inside. Has to back off that one.
Yep.
Oh, they both hit the wall.
Both pushing very hard.
And still opening the gap behind to Ethan, luckily, but Ethan's having a horrible time in this race, isn't he? So much promise, but it's not really worked. He's currently in P7, but unfortunately tainted with a few incidents as well. And in the wall, the front wing is gone. That is going to be a pit stop there. And I don't want to say I've cursed that one as well.
The Thomas backed out of that one quite wisely. Yeah, backed off in the middle of the corner. Now, I think if the pace keeps up, over Dyke King could catch Vectron in the next coming few laps.
It could be interesting. Yeah, overtaking his catching.
Oh, now
Infinity's lapping.
That's how far Infinity is in front. He's about to lap the guy in 3rd place.
Well, maybe incredible, yes. But in comes David Ben, who's finally decided to get that car in the pit lane. These guys are coming to lap De Thomas as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's just a little bit up the road.
First is lapping 3rd, and 3rd is lapping 5th. So that just tells us how much the field is spread out. Vector is going to be the only one on the lead lap in a minute.
Apart from the leader.
Apart from the leader.
Yeah, so he's going to have a hard time passing over Dyke King, because as he said, he doesn't have to move over.
Indeed, well, let's see, over to King might move over because national pride, I suppose, but let's find out. Well, the dots going to be nice to each other. Let's find out down this straight. Don't think so. Ooh, let's find out. Oh, this could be interesting. To the inside of turn number 1. Let's see, is he going to get the move done? Yes, he does. Over to King lifts off there. So, dots on dots being nice there. Now, Vetro, the only man on the lead lap, bar the leader.
Yep. Now, where is Vector right now? Oh,
just turn 3.
Dear. Oh, wow. That was a lot of lag on my end.
Yes, I think that was someone just leaving the session there.
No, I don't think so.
A little bit of lag on my end, but
just check where Infinity is compared to Vectro. He's a little bit up the road. He's in turn 1.
Turn 2 coming into in the second. There he is in turn number 2.
So, I'm afraid we're in for a long slog to the end.
And if you do want to join us here for an interview, of course, if you've had an incident, for example, if you're H Racing Green and want to have an interview or just to talk about the incident, feel free to let us know down in the chat. We'll see if we can get you in as well. But so far, Vector, incredible race. Infinity, though, coming to lap De Thomas. And does get past just about, a bit gingerly there. He's not going to be happy with that driver there. That little bit close. Ooh. Yeah, definitely not happy.
Shows it. He's going to be coming up to a pit stop shortly.
Yes, meaning Vector might lead.
Vector is currently coming up towards turn 3, so he's
not
in danger of getting lapped just yet. He's not in danger of getting lapped just yet, and he's got a slight bit more fuel. So let's just see. Infinity's lapping 0.6 of a second quicker than him.
Indeed, this is incredible pace from your leader, Infinity, dominating the Indy 500 so far. But remember, we have only got 9 drivers in this race. Unfortunately, we've lost another. We lost 9 drivers as well. So half the field down pretty much. Well, not exactly half the field, but near enough at least.
So over to Kink, lapping a lot quicker than Vectro. He's actually lapping at the same pace as Infinity's, just a lap down, unfortunately.
That is a real shame, isn't it? I mean, you have to wonder, when off the road goes someone there. That's De Thomas going off the road at the last corner there, over the grass. Has he kept out the wall? Yes, he has. Yep. Lucky puppy there.
So, Vectro coming up to some... Oh, this should be interesting.
Well, these two have a history of rivals. Now, Vectro, he just lift off, mate. Oh, Ethan's lifting far too quickly. What is he doing? Oh, my goodness me, they're making contact. Ethan!
Oh, no!
Oh, Ethan's done it again! He's caused Vectro to spin! What is he doing?
Oh, my goodness me.
What
He's kept it out of the wall. Fair play to him.
Surely someone get that man out of the race. That is dangerous there. He just suddenly pulled straight into him there. That was so lucky there wasn't contact.
That's put over the Kink into P2.
Incredible moment there for Vectro. How he's going to be even more livid there. Surely someone's going to have a word of that driver there. That is dangerous there to suddenly... That's the second time when a car's lapping that he's moved across.
Yeah, Vectro, fair play. He just locked it, just held the brake and just spun it out of the wall. So he's managed to avoid the damage, but he's not going to be happy.
Surely there's going to be investigation into that there. That you cannot in a race on it. Well, to quote Jolyon Palmer, you have to be alert on a street circuit. This is basically a street circuit, just a speedway, because at any moment you're in a wall. Yeah, and that was not alert.
Yeah. Well,
and Vectro, though, fair play.
Yeah, certainly these guys have no love lost, I suppose.
Yes, as Wolf said, no love lost between those two. But
yeah, Over the King is going very quickly, but unfortunately he's a lap down. This would be the battle for the lead. But Over the King is 1 lap down. Nonetheless, I think he's still going to try and get past.
Right, so Ethan said he lifted off to let him through, and Vectro never really committed to it. Well, to be fair, look, you have to lift off down the straight, and you don't lift off in the middle of a corner. I mean, you can't really disagree with it, though, can you?
Yes, I think it's one we might leave up to the stewards, but
yeah, let's not get into it.
Over to Kink might be coming in for a stop very shortly. 4 liters of fuel left in that car, and even less in Infinity's case.
Well, they're going to stay out for the time being, and these guys are coming to lap Ethan as well. I think Ethan's actually in the pit lane, actually. Yeah, he is, so gets himself out of that one, but incredible.
Oh, he's out. He's left.
Out of the race then.
So Vector's got some more laps traffic to deal with now. That's De Thomas.
And Thomas, so Dutch on Dutchy. Not Dutch on Dutchy.
Can I just say, Vector, great lap last time.
Yeah, he is pushing it. He is not, but he's coming in this lap.
Yeah, he's in clean air. This is the difference. Infinity's although he's in clean air, but he's surely going to be coming in next lap. He's 1.7 litres.
In comes the leader. In comes second.
Be careful not to hit him on the way in.
Like just about. I was for a worried I was going to hit him. Maybe his Vector going to come in. He should. No, he's gonna stay out. He's gonna
unlap himself.
Yes, he's unlapping himself. So imagine he'll come in this lap. So we've now got 7 drivers in this race now.
Yeah, he's back into P2. As a result, lap 61 of 202. It's a long race.
And in there, Infinity, and in as well is the second place driver of Overdye King.
Right, so Vectro surely on his way in this lap. Just seen him dive in to the
does do so.
lane entry. And Infinity's on his way out over to Kink.
Out as well.
Suit.
And in comes Vectro as well. There he is.
Now
gets it stopped down. 37 miles an hour in the pit lane. Good. Now this might... Well, I was sort of dropping behind Joshua Luke. Let's have a look at Joshua Luke, by the way. Thomas will come in this lap. Joshua Luke, he might, for a little bit, get up to third. It's going to be interesting. He's a lap down low on Vectro.
Yeah, he's also a lap down on these guys, as far as I know. I think he might be a lap down on Overdye Kink as well, as being 2 laps down on Infinities.
Now, apologies there on the timing screens there. If you're wondering, Vectro is not currently P2. He is currently in P4. I'm not sure. He might be in P2 right now for the time being.
He's on his way out. Now, where's Overdye Kink?
Down at
exit turn 4.
This could be close. How much fuel's Vectro got?
69.8 litres. Now, I think Overdye Kink is easily going to get in front of him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On his way out there. But he's not going to be far behind. There, through he goes, and Vectro just leaving the pits there. Fresh tyres and a fresh load of fuel to go another 30 laps, I would imagine. Now, where's Joshua Luke, actually?
He's just passing, actually. I think he has just passed him. Oh, this is going to be close.
Just ahead. I don't think this is for position. No,
it's not. So Vectro might... Yeah, he's going to let him through. Good call from Vectro there. Does not want to have an incident.
Yep. Joshua Luke just banging in the lap times. Down in P4.
Indeed, let's see how long he's going to stay out, though. He might stay out a few more laps. Vectro, P3 so far, so it's a Dutzy 1, 2 and 3. Incredible race for those guys then. The Netherlands are surely celebrating. Let's hopefully not curse anything, though.
Yep, so... I think Overdye King is about 11 seconds up the road, so he's a little bit further down the straight, as you can see there. So, let's see what Vectro's pace is compared to these guys. As they cross the line, it's going to be Infinities across the line first, and then Overdye King, who was a lap down. 39.8 apiece for those guys, 7,000ths of a second separating the lap times there. Let's see what Vectro does. That's a 40. So about 2/10 down on their pace. Oh dear!
Oh, who's that? David Ben
is out. David Ben is out.
That is a humongous accident there for David Ben. I looked away for a brief second and out goes David Ben out of the Indy 500, it looks like, as well. Down to 6, if we believe. Oh, yeah, that's definitely out. Oh, yeah. Maybe. No, maybe not. No, are we wrong? Is he going to keep it with it? Come on, boy. Let's see. That is commitment. You need a standing ovation if you can get that back into it. That is going to be a long old drive.
Yeah, a very long drive. There's Infinities.
Yeah,
let's see over that Kink on the outside. And then we'll see Vectro coming past in about 5 seconds time.
4, 3, 2, 1, and now. That's not Vectro. That's not Vectro either.
That's not Vectro either.
Now. That's Vectro. There we go. 6 cars, but we might still have 7. David Ben's not out of this race yet. There's Vectro. He isn't catching too quickly on board of there. That is not what they're doing in the race, by the way. They're not going full lock, so that's a little bit of a little bit weird. Let's just show how much they're pushing.
Quickly.
Yeah, Overdye King lapping quickly. He's opened the gap a little bit to Vector. 11 seconds now. He's catching Infinity slightly, but not a lot.
Yeah, that's David Ben still nursing the car.
Hopefully no one pulls to the inside and hits him. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Shouldn't do so, of course. These drivers have been informed how to, in case of damage. But major incidents in this race. We go back and even to before the race begun, we've had an incident, didn't we, with Will Power's car, wasn't it? I can't remember who it was at the time.
Yeah, it was a massive accident, one of the biggest I've seen in a long time. But yeah, might I remind you all, we started this race with 16 cars.
Oh, I saw a bit of debris there getting kicked up by over to King. Because he got damaged there or something. I saw a bit of debris getting kicked up in the sky.
Might have been from David Ben's car. I'm not too sure. Lap 68 of 202.
And not a lot of action going on so far, but in the chat, hope you're having a good time. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful ride here as we look at over to King, over Die King, should I say. Apologies to him there. And there is the debris. Let's see, have a look at David Ben whilst we can. Is he is he getting to the pit lane yet? Let's see if we can have a look at David Ben. Where is he? Let's go on board if we can.
Should be on pit. Yeah, he's just on pit road there as far as I can see. Just
there he is.
There he is.
Camera picking up there, and that is the old F1 circuit there on the inside there, where that gravel trap is. The very controversial F1 circuit, if we say, but if we go back to 2005 and remember that race, but the Indy 500 2005, I believe, was quite fun, actually. I don't actually remember ever seeing it, but I shall have to have a look sometime. Metro coming to potentially lap Thomas so far. And Vetro just sitting behind there. He can afford, really, just to sit behind a little bit, can't he? Don't want to take too many risks.
Yeah, he can do. But the Thomas, I think, is going to be a little bit obliging here. He's caught him in the right place.
Moves out of the way.
So the Thomas backs off down the straight and straight through.
And that is how you do it, I suppose, isn't it?
Yep, easiest way to do it.
Down the straight, not losing much time.
Oh dear.
Just about survives that one again. These are getting very tasty and very, well, spiritual for these drivers. I believe some of them might be begging to the Lord that something doesn't happen. And then to the pit come David Ben. There we go. He's got in the pit lane finally.
He has.
Congratulations, good sir.
Joshua Luke in.
Yeah,
as
from
well.
fourth. That will put him down the field quite far. But, well, I think it might keep him in fourth, really, because behind him's a 2-minute gap. But the field is incredibly spread out. I mean, the closest battle is Vector and Overdye Kink, and that gap is opening up quite dramatically now.
That's about 13 seconds. So, Overdye Kink, how far is he from Infinity? He's just a little bit. About 4 seconds. And lapping pretty much at the same pace as him.
Might be actually closing up slightly, but it's hard to say. Vetrolo, he's keeping him honest. He's losing about half a second a lap, even that. He's not dropping too much time. Over Die King on 45 litres. How much fuel's your leader got? 44, so they're running the same field. In comes De Thomas, by the way, into the pit lane there.
NPC.
That was NPC, yes, my apologies, the NPC in the pit lane. Infinity there, like, leading the Indy 500. We're just going over to lap 73, or lap 71 if you're officially counting it there. But lap 73 officially on with the 2 pace laps as well.
So 70 laps takes us up to about an hour into this race. So
9:20 and another 2 hours to go.
Well, close to 11 o'clock. About an hour and a half left, I reckon. Should be on lap 140 by 10:30. So another 80 laps after that should bring us up to about 11 o'clock.
And there is David Ben in the chat. This is embarrassing. Well, unfortunately, if we can, David Ben, if you want, you can come and join us mid-race if you're struggling that much. Keep us company. Anyone can keep us company, really, if you want a little interview or whatnot. But congratulations, though, to Infinity, who is so far putting that gap opened up a little bit. It's 44 seconds now. It's continuing to open up there from Overdye King and Vectro. Joshua Luke, though, 4th position. A very lonely race in De Thomas. Even more lonely, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was very exciting in the opening parts, but now that everybody bottled it entirely, then it's unfortunately turned into this long procession with massive gaps in between each car. And I really think that if we had a safety car, then things could have been different.
Indeed, it would have been, perhaps, but perhaps even made more engines, of course. Safety cars create safety cars, as the old thing says. And Unfortunately, it happened here today. Perhaps if the damage was off, maybe we'd have had a lot more drivers in the race as well. But it's not mine to say, is it?
No, it's not. It's up to the organisers, etc. Let's just see how the other tiers are getting on, actually. And they're pretty much in a similar situation.
Ah, so they've got
6 drivers left in PC. And in Xbox One, we currently have, just loading up the old stream here, a total, they're doing quite well actually, they've got 10.
Ah, so they've survived a little longer.
And they're having a nice little battle for the lead as far as I can see.
Indeed, so if you are just wanting to head over to the PC tier, not the PC, so the Xbox One tier, if you wish to see a battle, because we believe there is a battle going on the Xbox One, lessons to be learned. Yes, lots of lessons to be learned here today, especially of getting out of the way on an oval, especially depending, but it's hard to say with some of the incidents.
Yeah, of course, I think we can actually maybe turn this into a little Q&A, so do send your questions in. Anything you want to ask us, feel free to.
Indeed,
And,
well, I've never really seen a race that's had so much communism. Just say so, to that massive accident, and apologies to everyone in the stream for the amount of oh gods you probably heard in that one, but that was incredible. What was your opinion on that crash?
I think it was just a chain reaction of somebody catching the wall, and I think that was what happened to Fogarty. I think he slid into the pit lane, which caused him to be disqualified, and then chain reaction involving the car that was in the livery of Alexander Rossi flipping upside down, and probably one of the most horrific crashes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, well, it is one of those races, though, where it just went, if it goes bad, it went really bad. Unfortunately, just like, of course, it did in the, kind of the little race we had a few weeks ago, of course, the social race. Luckily, in the social race, we actually didn't have many incidents, really. We had a few, but they were very spread out. Unfortunately, all the setups, and perhaps some of the setups were slightly wrong, more slide in. Well, that is the end result, I suppose. Different speeds, and all of them, unfortunately, had incidents.
Yeah.
Chat, by the way. Just having a look, seeing this game needs a safety car or something. The track conditions were not the same as my Pretzel Lovers either. I couldn't take anything for that. That is Matty D.
Just a question. What's the best race you have watched in real life?
What, like it's actually gone to, or on TV?
No, it was on TV.
Best race I've watched in real life. It's... that's difficult to say. I mean, in F1, I suppose I can probably narrow it down a little bit more, but it's difficult to say, really. The best race I've really seen in F1 that I've been excited, probably been in Baku 2017, I think it was, really. That was really tense. I've never really been so tense watching F1s, really, too much. But that was a race I got tense on, but I also remember Brazil 2012 as well. That was one I remember being a race that I got so excited for. It definitely delivered. So in F1, what is your most exciting race you've ever seen?
It'd have to be a toss-up between Baku 2017, as you said, multiple incidents and interesting developments, and almost Felipe Massa winning if he didn't have his car fail.
Yep, so spring, didn't it?
And maybe Spain 2012 with Maldonado holding off Alonso for a multiple amount of laps. So that would probably be two of my most favourite races. Other than that, the 2017 Indy 500, definitely one of my favourites. But battle between Max Chilton and Takuma Sato for the lead. And
oh, sorry to interrupt you here. We've got a bit of an interesting thing going on here. I presume you've just noticed. Here's Infinity coming to lap Joshua Luke. Is he going to get through? They got very close into turn 2. Has he got through? Yes, he has. Let's go back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, anyways, I thought there was going to be an incident there, but they managed to work it out. Survive that one. So, yeah, Indy 500 2017, won by Takuma Sato, absolute legend. And outside of that, I'm not too sure really. I could probably go to DTM. This year's race at Hockenheim, particularly. Definitely a great one.
Was it the Timo Glock, wasn't it, or something like that?
Timo Glock and Gary Paffett, I think. I have to check that one. But apparently the PC stream was just ended because the guys had 6 guys left.
We've got 7.
Yeah, so I think they just ran out of things to talk about, but we're going to keep this going as long as we can. So we'll turn this into a little podcast Q&A type thing.
Well, we've got a few things to end the thing. Easier question might be your first motorsport memory.
Oh, my first memory of motorsport. Right. So I think the first time I was introduced to motorsport, when I think I was about 2 years old, my dad had old VHS tapes of the season review of the 1999 season, 98 season. So I remember watching those over and over again, and I think that was definitely my first introduction to Formula 1, and it just kind of grew from there, I think.
The first ever memory of F1 I've ever had was Hungary 2006. First time I ever watched it, and Jenson Button, I was never been so happy. Just those eyes and Jenson Button. It's why he's kind of one of my favourite drivers, and of course Raikkonen's massive accident. I think it was Raikkonen on Montoya in the race where he went over the top of, I think it was a Super Aguri back then, but I really started watching F1 on the top of F1 actually. When did you start watching F1 as general actually?
Yeah, that's a good question. I watched races on and off. I think my first race I watched, kind of getting interested in it, was 2007, I think.
Yeah, probably Brazil, I imagine. I remember watching that race. It was one of those races I didn't watch.
But the first season I watched entirely was 2012. And that was a great introduction to Formula 1. So that was an insane season.
And the first time I really actually watched F1 fully would have been kind of 2009. I was kind of around about Hungary 2009 when all I heard was like Michael Schumacher might be returning. Then that incident, I was kind of spiked my interest, like kind of who Michael Schumacher was at the time. Of course, I didn't know he was the legend he was. I never really got into F1 by that point. But I played F1 games. I had F1 games from 2001, so I knew kind of the story about F1, but generally never really got into it until about 2008-9. I really got into it, and then 2010 I fully watched it, and that was one of the best seasons I've watched, really. Just carnage as well. I mean, 2010, one of the best races seasons. And any more questions, do put them down below as well. And in terms of IndyCar, though, the first race I ever watched IndyCar would have been I can't remember who it was, but it was it was the Indy 500 in 2011. I actually watched when Dan Weldon won on the fun lap in that incredible sprint when who was it who crashed on the final corner?
J.R. Hildebrand.
Yeah, Hildebrand crashed on the final corner, and of course we witnessed the the birth of a pretty much almost a legend, of course. Sadly, that got cut short so tragically as well. And of course, that same week, of course, we lost unfortunately Marcus Simoncelli, didn't we? In that horrific, the Black Week of Motorsport, as they called it, and Affinity coming to lap to Thomas. Meanwhile,
yeah, let's just focus on this for a little second. The Thomas down in 5th. Infinity's just probably wants to have a little. Maybe these guys will race each other for a little bit of entertainment, but unfortunately, no, as the Thomas is going to pull way over to the left-hand side. I'm not sure if that's defensive or not.
let him through.
He's let him through
in the end, but yeah, incredible stuff nonetheless. We've got not a lot on the circuit, but we'll keep going. We have now 7 drivers, so we've lost someone else. Now, is that David Ben we've lost? Yes, it is. We've now down to 6 drivers. Yeah. David Ben out of this race as well, and that is a huge shame for him.
Now, we are going to be seeing some pit stops very shortly. 5 litres of fuel in Infinity's car. Overdike Kink 4 litres, even less, and Vectro 7 litres. Now he's going to be staying out a little bit longer.
Indeed, let's see what can happen. Vectro will be finished coming in around about this lap or maybe next lap. Lap 90 we currently in, so we're lap 87 so far in this race. But do keep your comments down below, and do keep questions and stuff. We enjoy it. Unfortunately, apologies for a lack of action.
Yeah, if you do want to see some action, do get yourself back to the start of the stream with a 5-way battle for the lead.
And yeah, unfortunately though, a huge crash wiped out a few cars later on, involving of course Ethan, a few other drivers, Ian Parks, and of course a few more. And so Vetro currently in P3 though, we believe coming in at the end of this lap. But so far, and out comes the pit lane, comes Joshua Luke meanwhile. On the topic of little things going on, there's Joshua Luke about to get lapped by Vetro. There he goes past him. Vetro's doing okay, to be honest. He had that massive moment, and I still don't know how he didn't hit that wall. I mean, I think it's incredible. In comes Infinity from the lead, and this is the line of guys. There's his pit crew coming out down the end.
Right, so this will put over. Well, he's going to come in and follow him in. He's just following him in now.
Yeah,
this should put Vetro back on the lead lap if he doesn't come in.
I think Vetro might come in, or he's going to stay out one more lap.
He's going to take P2.
Yeah, P2 for the time being, and now will come in the end of this lap as well, and that will promote Joshua Luke back up to a lap out. And to Thomas by the way, 4 minutes down. I have to say, Vetro, these top three really are doing well. They're only guys, I mean, they're maybe just about a minute between each other overall, but compared to the likes of to Thomas and they're quite far down the field as well. So this is incredible pace from these top three. In comes Vetro then.
And in he comes. Yep.
And I have noticed, bit of a slide. He's one of the only drivers actually taking the damage route, actually. Because normally I believe you are able to just go in the normal way, like a few of these drivers are, but he's taking a slightly different route into the pit lane.
Right, this will bring them on another 30-ish laps.
That'll take about 130, and then there'll be one more about 170, and then I'll be going to the end of the race there, we believe. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? So some of these drivers might need to do a little bit of fuel saving.
Yep. Not as much strategy as we'd like, because there aren't that many drivers left. 6 drivers left out of the 16 that started. With 10 retirements.
Indeed. Well, we'll just keep going for as long as we can.
Yep. So we shall keep you entertained nonetheless. So keep sending your questions or comments, and we shall keep going in.
Lighting those rear ends up. He's really happy. We've got a bit of action going on here, I think. Well, not a lot of on screen, but we've got a few cars down the straight. I mean, they're all on the same straight, I believe. Can we get the map up soon if we can quickly? Where are they all on the side? I think they're all on one side of the track. Yeah, they are. Look, all 6 of them are just. Oh dear, who's that? Oh, that's just. Oh, we might have a few things in there. Who is that? Owen joining and disconnecting. Oh dear, someone's having a bit of problems.
Yeah, this is probably a long list of retirements that kept joining and.
Oh dear, we may be here a while. Well, ignore that. But all the drivers are on the same side of the circuit now. Apart from is that Infinity, who's on the other side. But everyone's now currently, apart from Infinity, are on the same straight, which is good to see. I wonder why we saw everyone close together on the summer screens. Actually, I think we're having a battle here. Who is that? Oh, there, yellow versus yellow. Oh dear. Oh, they get through. That's NPC and De Thomas there, and NPC just getting past De Thomas there. And he is a lap down, I believe, on him. I believe that is De Thomas behind him, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So I think it's a penalty, so.
Yes. 20 seconds. So he's sped in the pit lane twice, or he's gone over the pit lane exit line. And, well, that's a bit awkward for him, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Infinity's now putting in the lap times once again. Getting the tyres warmed up. So, Overtake King 48 seconds behind, and everybody is lapped apart from Infinity's, of course.
And you have to say, everyone is lapped now. Infinity is doing an absolutely stellar job so far, and there is Overdye King. He's coming to lap De Thomas, if I'm not mistaken there. I believe it is. Yes, it is. The not the blue front nose. That's of course his fellow countryman there. Of course, there they are. Oh dear.
Oh, NPC on his way in.
Yeah, NPC in the pit lane there. Perhaps damage. In comes De Thomas. No, maybe not. Dummy.
Kept himself out of the way.
Keeps it going.
Right, so she'll turn this back to the Q&A. Let's see if we have any questions in
Any more
chat.
questions? I don't think so. Do get your comments down in the chat, by the way, if it's general motorsport or it's just general about many things. I mean, of course, actually, it's a question. Have you seen that horrible MotoGP accident recently? I think it was around Murego. I can't pronounce the track. Apologies there to can pronounce it. But there was a horrible accident in MotoGP recently. There was a massive high side and someone, I think, about 20 meters in the air or something. It's an incredible accident. Have you seen it?
I didn't see the footage. I did see that the session was red flagged as a result.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's an incredible high side there. And hello, Casper, down in the chat there. And oh, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? No.
Definitely no.
No.
And if you think it goes on pizza, you are a heathen and deserve to be killed.
Yeah, I don't really.
That's
I've
my
never,
opinion.
Yeah, in his opinion, of course, he's not really going to. He might actually. I don't know. But I've never really liked pineapple and pizza. I don't like pineapples in general, unfortunately. But yeah, it's one of those things. Do keep your comments coming down the chat. Yeah, of course, the Indy 500 is a famous motor race, of course. First raced in 1911, of course. Back then it was on dirt, actually. In 1923 they got the famous, of course, what it's named, the Brickyard. That's when you normally hear the track was created in 23. Of course, quite a lot of them say the circuit was officially created in 1923 because that is where the Brickyard came in. The Brickyard, of course, the official bricks last up until, I believe, 1956, until, of course, they got this now famous, well, paved kind of tarmac. Of course, they have the start-finish line. The remaining bricks, they are axle bricks. They're the original bricks as well. And of course, I believe Murray Walker in 2001, his final race, of course, actually did get a original brick from the circuit as well.
Yeah, and we're about to hit a milestone right now because we're about to hit the halfway mark.
Yes.
Lap 100.
101, I suppose, is halfway. But here comes lap 100 then. We're currently on that number...
Lap 98, never mind.
Yeah,
technically speaking.
One more, lap 99 on our technical screens there. One more to go and we'll be 100... Well, we'll be basically halfway through this race. So we're about to reach it. Only a few moments' time, let's see. One more to go and we'll be officially halfway through this race. And any more comments? Get them down below.
And, yeah, we appreciate you all being here, of course, even with so little action head on track. We are doing our best with what we have. I think all tiers are pretty much in the same situation.
So, lap 101, cross the line, 101 halfway through. Yeah, it's half to go. Let's go. Another halfway to go. Another, I think, an hour and a bit to go. Let's go. Let's see what can we do then. 101 Dalmatians, and now we're coming across. That's a great film, by the way. Recommend you watch it. Never seen it, really.
That took a turn.
Yeah, it took a turn. 101 Dalmatians. Do you like the film? Yay or nay in the chat?
So, of course, this is all part of the Triple Crown event in AOR, so drivers have an opportunity to get the coveted Motorsport Triple Crown, which of course consists of the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and the Le Mans 24 hours. Of course, we're not going to be doing 24 hours, it's insane. We'll be doing the 2.4 hours of Le Mans.
Yes, now I always wanted to see this. Should the Triple Crown be turned into Quad Crown? Perhaps add the Daytona 500? Because, I mean, that is equally a more famous, well, equally as famous as the Indy 500, really. It's one of those races where it's just got that kind of prestige as well, isn't it?
It's the Indy 500 of NASCAR, pretty much. It's the Daytona 500.
Yes, well, it's still 500, of course. That is 500 miles or 200 laps as well, I believe. I'm not exactly certain. I think it is 200 laps. I think it is 2.5 miles as well, that circuit. It's actually too certain, actually, but I've always was a Daytona 500. Well, this is kind of a tradition. We see it. Oh, NBC is in the wall. That's damaged. Now, luckily, he'll pull out the way and presumably brake here. Yes, he does. Get out of the way there. Lifts off there. Good stuff there. That's going to be a struggle back to the pit lane.
Yeah, so he's on his way back into the pits.
Of course, on the topic of just randomly on F1 as well, if you don't know, me and Sub commentate on the F3 tier. If you are doing our beautiful voices, we commentate on the good old F3 tier. And of course, previous season, me and Sub commentate on F8, I commentate on F7 and F4. of course, and
Yeah.
followed the story of
jumped
Nezarine.
around quite a bit.
Well, it's really the story of Nezarine, really, wasn't it? We've watched coming through.
Yeah, really. So he started down in F8
Yeah, and
in the early part of the season.
we just
Was far
followed
too
him.
quick.
And got to F7, and then was far too quick, and then moved up to F4, and he dragged me along with him, and now he's in F3, and I've came back across and following him again. So good to see Infinity a little bit on the curb there. He's pushing it still. He's not given up, has he? He's doing 220. Vector's in third. I think he's just generally having a nice relaxed afternoon, really, isn't he?
Yeah, and oh, we've lost somebody. Who was that?
Ooh,
That was. Hold
we
on.
lost. NPC.
NPC.
There
We're
we
now
go.
down to 5 drivers.
5 drivers.
5 drivers, 500 miles.
Conspiracy? I think not. Well, we got 6, but the 6th one is... I give credit due. He's staying in this race. He could have gone by Fogarty, so credit due. He is just staying here. I mean, he might still in that pit. And I think everyone is in the pit lane still, actually. But Fogarty's actually not out of this race, I don't think, officially. I think if he won... Well, he's disqualified, but he's... the game is going to say he's going to still be in 6th.
Yeah. So, yeah, as you said, Nezarine up in F3. Unfortunately, he's probably addicted to morphine at this stage.
Yes, I think he still is on morphine, unfortunately. Of course, still hoping the best recovery to our good friend Nezarine, who was... I believe it is now, he did actually break his ribs. Cass was saying,
Yeah,
how
he
many
did.
drivers started this race? 16.
16.
We're down to 5.
Vectro in.
Hey, here we go.
He's got damage.
There's not really too much. Actually, this could be tactical.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. Let's
just
see. Can we get a... No, he's not got damage. If he's got damage, to hit the ball very gently. But I think he's just going to take it gently. Off the Triple Crown race, what's your favourite racetrack? Spa.
Yes.
Done.
Spa or...
Silverstone,
I
really.
think.
Maybe.
Well, maybe not
Old
Silverstone,
Silverstone.
no.
Old Silverstone, yeah. New Silverstone, maybe not. I don't know. What's your opinion on the new Silverstone, Soup? I mean, you've seen it for
It's not,
8
it's,
years.
it's not exactly new.
It's not really new, but it's new enough compared to the old one. It's been going since like the mid 80s, I suppose, or since like 2009. But the kind of old new circuit, which is kind of the newer circuit, I suppose. It's like Top Gear. It's the new Top Gear. Get into Top Gear. But the new, well, the current layout, I suppose we'll call that.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the first sector. I'm going to be honest.
Wolf also just said, what's your favourite out of the Triple Crown? The South. Oh, Vector, careful there, Sunshine.
Oh, Vector, careful, mate.
Also, on the topic of the South, I just want to say this, they have changed the circuit now. I know Gran Turismo, this is going to annoy Gran Turismo. They just got the new circuit. Vectro, going a bit slowly there, wouldn't speed up. They just changed the circuit to make it the real circuit, the most up-to-date circuit. And do you know what they've just done? They've actually just got rid of they changed the Porsche curbs. There's nowhere, if you know, of course, the circuit, you know the second bit after you come out the first bit, that kind of area where you've seen so many accidents. Of course, if you remember I think it was the 908 in 2009 had a horrific accident there. Quite a lot of accidents. They've moved the barrier back now and put a gravel trap there, so they've made it a little more safe. I don't like that, but I understand why they've done it. I think in second, though.
Yeah, and he's only 1 lap down as opposed to the others. And he did a lap within 1,000 of a second of Infinity's there. Look at the lap times.
Well, indeed. Let's see if the King, he's still going. He's doing well. Like I said, just a lap down. Just under a lap down, actually. Well, just over a lap down. In the background there, who is that having a battle? That is Vectro just behind, who is now 2 laps down. And that is the Thomas, who I believe might be slightly just lifting off as well. Well, do keep your comments down below and do just keep us entertained, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I've noticed about this circuit, Super for me, I believe I believe there's a waterfront on the outside of the circuit. I've never known this, but I think I think it might actually just be the game showing it. Of course, actually you can't see on this circuit. Of course, I don't like nitpicking, and I shouldn't really, but it's why I normally like going on board here, because you will notice this, and I think if you've noticed in stream here, on the exit of this corner, just there, on the left, you should see it. We didn't even know we noticed it now. Soup denies the seeing, but there you can see through the map there a little bit, but nonetheless, that's sometimes okay. Then on the outside there, I believe there is a waterfront there. if I'm not mistaken, there should be water around there, I think, in real life. I think that's going to be coming through. Ian Park said, the Sosa race last week went so much better. It did. I enjoyed the Sosa race last week. And, of course, Virtual commentated me. He's doing he's probably got a taste in it. So I suppose this is kind of a little bit of a showing for... Got a bit of use of the strategies as well. And he's doing well. He could really, if he wanted to let Thomas pass if he's getting too nervous of him behind as well. Because he's got a gap of... how far is he to the car behind? 2 minutes and 27? He can really afford just to slow down a little bit, not too much. He can just kind of cruise a little bit more, can't he? Take no risk.
He's also got a lot more fuel than the top two. He's going to be going a lot deeper into this stint.
Well, potentially to around about 130, well, maybe even 160 perhaps. I mean, one more stint after that, so he's going for an interesting strategy. So I did talk to him before the race and did mention that you'll have to pit around, if you pit around 100 earlier, you could get a little further. I think he listened to it, so there we go. Good to see.
He's keeping the times relatively
stable.
Stable, yeah. Even he's got a lot more fuel than these guys. These are all going to be burned off.
Whoa. That was a bit close there. That's not really like... See, Infinity there, I think, may have slightly soiled himself slightly there. In the pit then comes Joshua Luke. Has he got damage?
Probably Joshua Luke he was probably trying to come into the
I think he's crabbing, actually. Yeah, so he's got damage. You can see him there
you see the difference
in... Oh, there's the grass.
You see the difference in lap times here. 39.4 versus a 40.5.
Yeah, and behind that a 39.6. So Beto is second fast on the circuit, and Infinity slightly cruising now a little bit. But I think these guys can. I think Beto really, perhaps. Do you think he maybe wanted to let that car behind through?
I think Thomas is just running around behind them because I think he's just everybody's so spread out. I think he's just kind of bored.
You're just sitting behind us, like having a cup of tea, etc., etc. But we keep going. It's currently 9:49 here in the UK. We're currently 106 or 104 laps if you want to be quoting there. So
115 laps actually.
Ah, sorry, 115 laps there. We were looking at someone else who was a long way back. 115 so far then. So that is about 80, 90 laps to go. And I have to say, thank you for all you 15 people who are currently on my screen watching the stream. There'll be more of you. So if you are more, do put it down in the chat and say hello. But and thank you all for saying how you can carry on. Well done. Well, the pure determination of completing this race. Not much action going on, unfortunately, but well, we could take her on an 80 tour, I suppose.
Well, the simple answer to that question is I don't have a life.
Yes, we don't have lives. We could run an 80 tour, I suppose, around this thing as well.
We can afford to sit around
and relax and just do a little thing. But I believe, if my information is correct, that was a bit close to the wall there for Overdye King. Just there, Vetro running a little bit less so the wall. He's kind of lifting off slightly, but I believe these grandstands are getting upgraded soon there, as far as I'm aware, because I believe...
Oh dear.
Fourth, Thomas. Keep it calm, mate. Put a slightly Australian accent on there.
At least leave us with 5 cars, mate. At least leave us with at least 5.
Yes, come on, don't crash. I want 5 racing. Keep your comments in. Well, we'll talk. What we've got this moment here. We'll talk about F3 if we can. Soup, who do you think's doing so well in F3 so far?
Oh, there's a lot of drivers showing promise, but I think Big Prenta is definitely
dominating. Really?
Dominating currently, yeah. Back-to-back victory in the past 2 races, and very quick in qualifying as well. I think we've had VSR Brady. I think needs to find his feet a little bit.
Yeah, and of course
he's had 3
Cookie
straight retirements.
And Cookie as well. We don't know. We don't talk about what happened to Cookie in the race. Well, you can if you know what happened to him. It was a bit awkward, wasn't it, with the commentator's curse?
If you think commentator's curse was bad today.
Yeah, I may have cursed Cookie. I said he was doing well, it was a nice slide, and then he promptly slid into a wall and lost both the tyres. It was one of those moments I've never really imagined seeing such a awkward moment, but the commentator's curse tends to happen. I may have cursed a few of these drivers. I did say, Ethan, I hope to you don't retire, and glad he is out of his race so far, so that's not gone well. But I could say Vettel also you halfway through, and he's so far lofted a little bit more, so that's good for him.
Yep, coming up to the pit stop phase now.
Yeah, Sid leading coming in.
7.7 litres of fuel.
Did we see Vettel leading the race? He's 2 minutes now. I don't think he will lead the race. Nah.
He might.
So. Might, just. But he's going to go to lap 150, do you think? Or 160?
Well, if he does, I think he's made that strategically to give us an interesting race.
Yes. Thank you, Vetro. Who do you think will be on pole tomorrow, says Casper, by the way?
Is that
yes.
correct?
Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix.
Right, so...
Big Parenta?
Possibly...
It's hard to put it past him, isn't it?
Depends on if it's wet or not.
If it's wet, then maybe not, because we know how he struggles in the wet quite a lot, but maybe, let's hope, maybe Matt out there, apparently I have a low internet connection, so this might cut itself off, but hopefully it won't.
No, everything seems to look fine on our end. It tends to do that now and again, but the stream usually stays fine. So, Infinity still doing 39 twos very consistently. Fair play to everybody who's still watching and still driving.
Yes, however, I just hear a massive crash just there or something. I heard a thump somewhere around the circus. I think someone may have lost their front wing or got a bit damaged. Nope.
But he's still at a relatively good speed.
Where's Vetro? There he is.
Now, he's 2 laps down. So I think he may lead this race.
Just. Maybe.
Just about, yeah. But Infinity is then going to have to pass him.
Well, Infinity should come in the pit lane soon.
He might have one more lap of fuel.
We'll be close. He's definitely pushing it.
Yeah. Oh, he's in. In he comes.
Ah, there we go. So there we go. I'm wondering because Vetro takes a more interesting line of pitting. As you see, he takes the proper pit lane down the inside. Infinity's not, and neither is Overdye King. They're just following each other. Vetro's going to unlap himself. Can he unlap himself twice?
Well, if he unlaps himself twice, then...
he'll be on the lead lap. He's going a lot longer in the race. This is interesting.
Well, it's a 39-second
I think he's
lap.
3 laps down, actually. He's on lap 108. He's 3 laps down. He's 2 miles down on the leader, actually, so he's not going to come out.
No, Infinity's crossed the line while he was coming in the pit lane. So, should be around
that. Oh, so he did kick. Now he's coming in the pit lane. That pit lane's very long.
Yeah, out comes Infinity's.
Well, Vetro's going to take second again, I believe. This could be interesting. I think Vetro strategically put himself on a masterclass strategy right now, because he's going to be in second. He's going to be going a lot further.
Infinity's still coming down the pit lane.
Vetro's going to be...
Vetro...
is he a lap down? Is he in second? Don't know. Well, the game says he is, but on our screen he... Oh, this is confusing. Yeah, I think he is in second. Don't quote me on this, but I think he's in second. He's on that 120 and over to Kinks on the 121.
He's on 121, 120. He's still a lap down.
So Vetro not on the thing. So everyone's just spread out by a lap. I think I'm going a bit cuckoo, but nonetheless,
we're looking for gaps that aren't there.
People are saying, am I definitely commentating PS4 Elite Touring cars next Wednesday? Yes, I should be. I did have a few colds last week, of course, and I don't have to commentate either. A few
colds.
I wasn't very well last week.
How do you get multiple colds?
It's just a thing. I had a few coughs, and
no, it's not. Moving on. You can't have multiple colds. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Don't say that to them. Meanwhile, Infinity leading.
I just have.
Oh, well, never mind. It's done now. Infinity leads this race. They're on that 121, technically. 123 on your screen. Overdye Kink in second, and Vector in third. Josh Luke in fourth. De Thomas in fifth. And Fogarty.
That's it.
Yeah, and Fogarty in technically sixth, but he's been retired for... Well, he's been retired for 81 minutes now. What lap is he on, by the way? Can we have a look? Can we get a look? What lap he's on?
Lap 4. That's when the crash happened.
Yes, that's when all carnage went off. So he's been here for about 120th laps.
He's been here for an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, hi, Vector. Good transition.
Segue.
Alright, 39.5. Good lap.
Yeah, he's keeping it there. He's 1 minute 13 off the leader. Over to Kink. Overdye Kink is 2 seconds off the leader. And your leader on lap 125, by the way. So we're 77 laps away to the end. So we're not too far off. Give me comments. Can we get any comments down? Anything? Possibly? Yes? No? Oh, here's a question for the chat. And ask, who do you think is the best driver in the world, period?
Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso. Okay, and that's 4 wheels there. So I'm going to have to say Alonso as well, really. I mean, perhaps Graham Hill or as well. Because back then...
Oh, we're talking of all time. Okay.
All time.
Fangio.
In all disciplines of 4-wheel racing.
All disciplines, okay.
Dylan Cotton saying Schumacher. That's a bold call. But in all disciplines, he's being biased because it is his hero. In all disciplines, I'd still say possibly... It's difficult, really, but Graham Hill really comes to mind, isn't it? Because he's won so many races, hasn't he?
Yeah, it is a tough one. Fangio, obviously, one of the greatest of all time. We've got Nuvolari as well, one of the greats.
Of course, going to like NASCAR, you got Dale Earnhardt and all that, and of course, F1, you've got Schumacher and like that. But in F1, I still say Alonso, kind of all time. He's up there. Solid Ninja, Malvinado. Good call, my sir.
Yes, absolutely. Probably the greatest of all time ever.
Yes, maybe Grosjean as well, potentially.
Grosjean, potentially. Ericsson?
Ericsson, yeah, you got to say Ericsson, yeah. It was all Ericsson's fault. I mean, every crash is Ericsson's fault now. But yeah, in terms of 2-wheel racing, best driver of all time, it's pretty easy to say Rossi, isn't it? Valentino, but I know people might say potentially Marc Marquez, how he's doing, but maybe. But Marc Marquez is one of those people. I mean, Barry Sheene, I think, isn't it? Not one of those great drivers as motorbike riders.
Yeah, you got the Dunlops as well.
Of course, and Cole Fogarty as well.
Riders. Foggy, unfortunately, is
out of the race.
Out of the race.
So, well, his transition to the Indy 500 hasn't exactly worked. Don't worry, on motorbikes, he's doing well. But Barry Sheene is one of those drivers, or motorbike riders, should I say, that I've always been interesting. He's like the playboy. He's like, you see him and James. Well, James Hunt and not Over the King. That's Over the King. That'll be an interesting mix. But Barry Sheene and James Hunt, of course, those playboys of the 70s, aren't they? In motorsport, aren't they? You had the 4-wheel of James Hunt, and the 2 was of Barry Sheene. Both of them, unfortunately, succumbed to the same thing.
Yeah, I heard a story that Sheene went out to, I think this might have been at Donington. Went out, won the race by about an absolute mile, and then on the parade lap just pulls up in the middle of the track, lights a cigarette.
Yeah, that is true. He did do that. And that just shows some of the drivers are like to do, isn't it? But we're coming at 130 nearly. Well, we are actually at 130. There we go. Getting there.
We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting there.
Slowly.
Slowly but surely. We've got 70 laps to go.
Some of the best ever in motorsport in terms of 4 wheels, and Rossi too. Let's get into that discussion, really. I mean, Senna. I mean, it's one of those discussions, really. Is he the best? Is he? It's one of those things like Schumacher, isn't it? It's tainted by some performances, but
yeah.
In the wet, yes, they are the best.
He's a master. He's a master.
Same as Schumacher. I mean, Schumacher or Senna in the wet.
Unbeatable.
Both of them in a team, that'd be insane, really. But really, also Jenson Button in the wet. Really, he's kind of go back to Canada 2011 and that drive. I mean, people saying, is this Project Cars 2? Yes, this is Project Cars 2. As you should be able to see up the top right of your screen, it says Project Cars there.
Damn the sass! So is this getting to you, Eagle? You getting annoyed?
We may be here a while. We're 132 laps into this motor race. And Infinity still leads by a couple of margin from Overdye, Kinken, Vectro. But yeah, back to Schumacher and of course Senna. But between those two, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're both kind of similar in a way. Their eras of cars were actually kind of similar. They started off, I mean, Schumacher was almost in the same era.
Well, yeah, I mean, 84 Senna started, and Schumacher started in 91, so they're very close.
Yeah, he did race with him. I mean, Schumacher's first race was in a Jordan at Spa, I think.
Yep, burnt his clutch out on, I think, the first few laps,
yeah,
I think.
First lap. But, 7 world titles versus 3. But they are, as you said, are tainted by those controversial moments. We talked about, I think, was it 1991? 94? No, not 94, that's when he died.
I was talking about Schumacher, 94, that was a controversial moment for Schumacher, and 88, 89 and 90 for Senna really in terms of those incidents, isn't it? And of course 97 for Schumacher, so they've both had incidents tainting them in their titles, haven't they? So it's one of those things, isn't it?
But I guess that gave them their personality. It made them interesting out on track. I mean, you could understand their driving styles. You could understand what they were thinking.
Yeah, you could think what they were doing and see them, and you knew when they were in press. And I have a story, by the way, that I did read about Jerez in '97. Now, if you've ever seen it, you'll know that Jacques Villeneuve was held up by one of the Saubers. I can't remember which driver it was back then, but after the race, that driver actually pulled us to Villeneuve and said that if he didn't actually hold him up, he was going to get sacked from Sauber, because back then Sauber was had a Ferrari engine as well back then. So story by that, and then he was promptly sacked afterwards. So that's a little bit of a unfortunate thing there.
Yeah. So it's an interesting debate, and I think to find the greatest driver of all time,
Jim Clark,
you really
perhaps.
just have to go. You really have to go era by era.
The 50s Fangio, really, you can't really beat him.
And
in the 60s, it's difficult.
Hard to call. There was a lot.
Well,
you've got Jim Clark. You've got Jack Brabham. You've got
Jackie Stewart.
Jackie Stewart.
So many. Graham
John
Hill.
Surtees. Graham Hill.
I mean, in my opinion, in the 60s, Jim Clark is up there. I mean, just his driving style was just incredible. Graham Hill as well, Jackie Stewart really as well. So those three, I mean, the Scots really, Jackie and Jack. Oh, Vector's come in as well. That's going to that 170.
Yeah. So then we go to the 70s. So we've got guys
Lauda, you've got Hunt. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, you've got Jean-Pierre Jarier, who
Jean-Pierre Jarier, yep, James.
Who had apparently the mental age of a 7-year-old.
Was it? No, it was a 5-year-old, I think.
Vector's got a penalty.
Vectro! Oh man, what have you done? You can't do that. It's disgusting. Don't get a penalty. I mean, don't look at the 22nd from De Thomas, but he's still in this race somewhere. Where is he? He's down in P5 and last, I suppose. Lauda and Hunt. Yeah, have you ever actually seen Rust, by the way? Great film. Love it.
Yeah. So that was obviously the great rivalry of the 70s.
Also, I suppose, 80s.
Jackie Stewart again.
Yeah, Jackie Stewart in the 70s. Well, just a little slightly.
And you had guys
Ronnie
like
Peterson, really, kind of. He was one of those hopeful talents. Unfortunately, life was taken too short, wasn't it? When Monza, of course.
You also had guys Jochen Mass as well.
Yep, Jochen
Rindt, sorry, Jochen Rindt.
And Jochen Mass, I suppose, as well.
I guess so, yeah.
You had
the great Derek Daly.
I can't remember his name. Derek Daly!
Yeah, the guy, in case you didn't know who that was, that's the guy who flipped over the top of everybody in Monaco.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I just realised it is, isn't it? I mean, 80s. It's 80s is impossible, really, isn't it? Prost,
Yeah,
Mansell, Senna, PK, Villeneuve.
Who else? Jacques Villeneuve. He's 70s actually.
No, Gilles Villeneuve.
Gilles, there we go.
Not
Gilles.
Jack. That's interesting.
No, Jacques was early 90s, wasn't he?
Late 90s, 97 he won his title,
Late
man.
90s.
Oh my god.
You're talking about 80s.
Yeah, we're talking about the 80s. Gilles Villeneuve.
Why'd you say Jacques Villeneuve in the
I said Gilles Villeneuve. I said
80s?
just said Villeneuve. I just said Villeneuve. You said Jacques Villeneuve. I said Gilles Villeneuve.
You said Jacques Villeneuve.
Nah, I don't remember
It's
that.
like 141
Who was it who won the championship after he died? That was Jochen Rindt, wasn't it?
That wasn't Peterson.
Oh, it was, yeah, I think it was Ronnie Peterson. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? The only, so far, gladly posthumous champion. I think.
Was he posthumous? It's between Rindt and Peterson.
I have a big book on F1 somewhere. I'll have to find it in a little bit. I don't know where it's gone, but someone could look it up. But yeah, 80s. It's got so many drivers. It's. I mean, you can break it down 80 to 85. I'll probably say Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah, that was the beginning of Senna's career.
Yeah, well, not really, because Senna's career is 84. It started really, and Villeneuve, of course, only had a few years in F1. 79 really to I think 82. It was only a few years, but Villeneuve in the early 80s. Late 80s, well, mid 80s, kind of have to say PK.
And then after that, it's just the greats of Prost, Mansell, Senna.
PK as well, kind of still there.
Yeah, and
then there's the 90s. Maybe here a while. So in the 90s, you have Schumacher, you have Alesi, I suppose. I mean,
kind of.
Yeah. You think of Alesi, I mean, you just go back to one of his first, like when he was in the Tyrrell. I mean, that is surely one of the greatest drives, really, because that Tyrrell was, not to put it incorrectly and unconstitutionally, it was absolute a pile of horse manure, I suppose is the word, without swearing. Yeah, what's going on there? There's Infinity. And you got the likes, of course, of Senna as well, really. Senna, Prost still in there. I mean, Mansell as well, because that's when they were at their very best. Schumacher, so many drivers. Hakkinen, Villeneuve, I mean, yeah, I'll give it Damon Hill as well.
I guess.
Yeah, Coulthard. I love Coulthard as a driver. He just got really unlucky. I mean, he got kind of put into a situation where I don't think any driver wants to be put in, do you?
No.
Put in the seat of Senna's car, really.
And yeah, it was Jochen Rindt who won the championship after he died.
Ah, there we go. So that is the only posthumous champion in F1. But yeah, I mean, 90s. There's so many drivers. I mean, early 90s. Yeah, you've got. I'd probably say Prost, really, in my opinion. I mean, maybe Mansell, and I suppose it's between those two, in my opinion.
Right, and
mid 90s. It's kind of easy to say Damon Hill, really. I mean, coming back after, was it 3-4 years of just that turmoil of Schumacher to win the title, and knowing he was getting kicked out of his team as well. Late 90s, Hakkinen, really. He's the only one you can think of. I mean, that incredible pole lap around Monaco where he did in 98. Replicating Ayrton Senna in 88 as well. In the 2000s, you've got too many drivers to count.
Yeah, Schumacher's still there. Raikkonen,
Montoya, Hakkinen, Villeneuve, Alonso, Hamilton, Button, Vettel. All of these drivers, I mean, Kubica,
yeah, Montoya, I think was probably one of the greatest as well, because he was really the only guy who could really challenge Schumacher.
Yeah, I mean, well, a Raikkonen as well, Shumi had said was one of those drivers he feared quite a lot.
Let's not forget Barrichello.
Yeah, Barrichello.
But yeah, Montoya, he's probably one of the only ones who's actually got 2 out of the 3 that he needs for the Triple Crown. He's won the Indy 500 twice.
And he's won the Monaco Grand Prix.
And he's won the Monaco Grand Prix.
And he is racing in Le Mans, but all we know is that he can't actually win Le Mans because he's in LMP2. Unless something horrible happens to everyone else.
Well, I mean, last year we saw an LMP2 on the overall podium, which was mad. But,
yep, but that's of course because all those issues with the Toyotas and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember getting up when I was watching it about midnight, and I was watching the Toyota, and I saw this. Well, I saw Kamui Kobayashi in the driver's seat, and I just heard this kunk sound, and
that was it.
Ground to a halt. I cried.
And there was much crying, but yeah, I mean, 2000s. I mean, it's one of those things as well. It's difficult, isn't it?
But it is difficult, even though Schumacher dominated him for the early half.
I mean, Alonso comes to mind, really. And that's mid-2000s. I mean, that's the only one you can put in, I mean.
I think he's kind of seen as one of the greats because he's trying all these different motorsports.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, he's brought so much publicity to the Indy 500 last year, and now everybody's going to be watching Le Mans to see how he gets on in that LMP1. I mean, he won the 6 hours of Spa. Well, not just him, Toyota did.
Toyota was an overall, yes. With
Sebastian Buemi and Neil Gianni. No, he's Porsche.
Nakajima, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was an all F1 star-studded grid for the Toyota pair there. Just all current and supposed ex-F1 drivers. Where Alonso will be next year, because I do know McLaren's going to Indianapolis. Well, not to Indianapolis, but to IndyCar next season. They are going to be talking to potential people to do it. So we know they're probably going to go with a Chevrolet engine.
Yep, because the Honda engine, even though it was good,
it actually broke down.
Went pop.
Ironically. Oh, talking about pop, in comes Infinity.
We've got something happening!
1.4 litres in, and across into the pit lane. Just about stops it there. There we go.
Overdue Dive King will follow. Because if he's not careful, he's about to run out of fuel.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's low.
Ooh. Can he get to his pit box without running out of fuel?
Yes.
Oh, now that's Vector and De Thomas close together. Not for position. But 50 laps to go. We're almost there.
Wolf saying,
he ran out of fuel. He's run out of fuel.
Oh my god! No! You can't!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! No! No!
That's too cruel. No, you can't do that.
You can't. No, you can't do that. This. You can't do this. No, you can't. No, and someone push him.
No.
Oh, he's out. Is he out? No. No.
Oh, you got to be joking.
No, Vector's on the second.
Oh no.
No. Oh my god.
That's so cruel.
You can't. Just push him, guys. Just push. Just
pit
push
crew,
him.
do something.
Do something, you stupid pit crew. Push him. No.
Push him.
This has to be a joke. They cannot do that. There. I'm done. Nah. That is the most cruel. This Vector's on second position then.
Yeah.
Well, that surely has to be the worst moment in your career.
Yeah, he's genuinely stuck there.
That is
Vector
so
P2.
cruel. Vector up to second.
Oh.
Well, we're down to 4 drivers now then.
4 cars running. I don't believe it.
You cannot script that.
Yeah, the engine shut off entirely. He's out.
What is it? 1 meter? And he's out.
Yeah, he's out. Oh.
1 meter.
I've never seen that before. I have never seen that before.
Now down to 4 then, with just 50 laps to go.
Yeah.
Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, that was the cruelest thing
So
I've ever
cruel.
seen in my life.
So cruel. Oh my god. Like, you cannot make that up. But what a fairy tale for Vectro right now.
Started
16.
15th.
Well, 16, but got to 15 because of the incident. But avoided all the incidents. Now lies P2 just currently, and is going to the end of this race. Is actually getting lapped by Infinity now for the 3rd time. So actually, this is working for Vectro overall as well. And Vectro pulls well out of the way there.
Yeah.
And hello, thank you down there in the chat as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot believe my
eyes. Do join
eyes.
us for some bants.
I do not believe that just happened though. I'm in absolute shock right now. That just happened in the pit lane. 1 meter from your pit box and you've run out of fuel. Like, I'm just in shock. I'm just as much as some of your audience are. Like, wow.
So cruel. He's been in 2nd for so long,
And
had
you
to go
cast
out
it. No,
that
you
way.
cast that suit because you said, "Is he going to make it?" And I said, "Yeah, he is." Now he's not. So I suppose I just cast that, didn't
So
I?
you cursed it. It's your fault.
Ah. Well, I mean, he almost made it, but Vectro's 2nd. We've got 4 drivers, 5 with technicality. I mean, Fogarty's just sitting there. He's been sitting here for now 1 hour and almost 4 minutes. He's been here. He's been on lap 4, so he's actually 150 laps ago he crashed. For compared to Vectro, 152 laps ago if you're Infinity. Have anything to question?
Yeah.
Put down the chat.
Xbox One stream is finished entirely.
So we are
They did
still
100
going.
laps.
We're on 155, so we are leading the way. Come on, lads.
We're slogging it out to 200.
We will get there, hopefully.
4 cars left.
157, 4 cars. Will we see any more? Let's hope not.
I have a feeling you may have just cursed it now.
Well, he's going to Infinity. He's not. There we go. He's going to Infinity. For a second, I just thought he wasn't moving. There we go. Over King. Honestly, I can't believe it. Honestly, mate. That is pure devastation. In the chat there. That's the worst thing I've ever experienced in 6 years of online racing. That's the worst thing I've commentated on in, well, ever, really. I mean, unless you run out of fuel on the line.
So cruel.
Like, I'm feeling that the fields have been hit hard there. 158 for Infinity. We're 44 laps away from the end of this motor race. And it's going, well, swimmingly, I mean, I suppose. Not a lot of action, not a lot going on, but we're keeping it going and chugging along these laps.
Foggy just saying, I've took the dogs for a run since. In and out.
Lap exhausted, what's
Yeah,
he
we're
said?
still here.
I mean,
You cannot say that on stream. I think you may be fired now.
Oh, well, I've done that.
This is the last thing you will ever hear from Evil Dragon.
Oh, well. Vectro currently lying P2, doing a brilliant job so far. 1 minute 23 and 035. Well, it was for a second. Now it's opened up a little bit. Yeah, he's kind of keeping it there. That gap's not opening too much. There he is. I mean, he's got the slipstream. Vectro coming about another 12 laps.
Yep.
Maybe
So,
he can go to the end there, so he's going to do it good. I mean, he's not made a single mistake. He's, well, one mistake, but that wasn't really his fault, was it?
Actually, let's move on to a little topic here. What do you reckon for the 2019 F1 regulations, the AOR regulations?
Oh dear, oh dear. That's what I said. They're making it slower just to... That's not going to improve racing, really. All it's going to do, really, is annoy drivers even more by making it harder to get speed to overtake. I mean, they might even remove DRS next year. Apparently, rumours are coming soon. They want to get rid of DRS. They want to get rid of ERS. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, I agree, but it's going to be interesting. You won't have as many races like we do. We don't see as many overtakes currently. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully next year Williams can sort their car out, because they have officially told what is wrong with their car. It's the aero. They're losing so much aero around long corners at Baku and Monaco because their street circuit was, of course, they don't really do well in Monaco, period.
What
but,
do they mean they did well at Monaco? They finished last.
They did better than they would have feared, because normally they'd be even slower. I mean, Stroll did crash about 8 times, but they said whenever they turn, the downforce is suddenly losing all grip on their tyres, and that's why they're suddenly going really slowly around these long circuits. But they said, like street circuits, Baku, Monaco, they said they weren't hoping much for it because their car was just simply not made for Monaco. It never has been, and probably never will be, really. Last time I saw a Williams do well at Monaco would have been 2004? Montoya, I think it was, when
Montoya,
he won.
yeah.
When he actually won, of course, after I think he actually slightly took out Schumacher actually in that thing. We won't talk about that one.
Anyways, the regulations. So
the regulations.
So what they're doing is they're spreading. Well, they're going to make the front wings wider and the rear wing lower, and kind of edged out a little bit more at the rear. So essentially what this is going to do is it's going to make they're simplifying the front wings to kind of counteract the dirty air effect, so cars are going to be easier to follow. However, it is going to make the cars slower, but also it'll mean that front wings are going to become more standardized. So there's going to be none of this kind of trickery around the front where cars are running away out the front. The front wings are going to become more standardized, and
might make it closer slightly.
Make it closer. It will make street circuits a little bit better because the cars will be able to follow closer. However,
well, it might make them faster, actually.
Well, if you've got a wider front wing and less aero, then it's going to make them slower.
Well, around corners, I suppose they would. Would you think they might be slightly faster overall? I mean, we look back 2004. I mean, those cars will look pretty simple, I suppose, but they're so quick compared, especially when you have a V10 as well. I suppose it makes a little bit of the time up, a lot of it.
But I'm just interested to see how it's going to pan out, because, well, we've got, all in all, when you think about it, it's going to make no difference, all in all, when you put it all together. It's going to make them slightly closer on street circuits, but it's not going to make a whole lot of a difference.
Yeah, Wolf has a point there. The stupidly wide front wings will discourage overtaking due to more damage. It's a huge knee jerk. I suppose wider front wings, but they've always, well, to be honest, they've always had kind of wide front wings back in the 90s, I suppose. They're kind of trying to go for glory. Really, they've always kind of had thinner front wings, to be honest. Whenever I watched F1 in the course 2000s, they had always really slim front wings. They just didn't really look like anything.
Well, of course, the next opportunity they have to change the regs is going to be 2021.
And that's the engines regulations, really.
But they have got some interesting changes to the engines. They're getting rid of the MGU-H, thankfully.
Which, if you don't know what the MGU-H is the energy recovery, I believe, isn't it?
It's the energy recovery system from the heat of the turbo.
Which means the turbo is going to be more
reliable. And Honda engines are going to go better.
Slightly. Oh, talking about Honda engines. Oh, yeah, Vectro's... Yeah, this time... He's just left it to the final, and luckily, we'll get in the pit lane with 0.7, and that will be going, what lap's he on? To the end, do you think? Maybe? He's on
lap 164. He
maybe.
Might end up having to pit in the last 10 laps.
Yeah, it'll be close, but he's on course for second out of 4. Would they not contract the drivers? They know what needs to change in a first down account. Fun story, actually. This is a true thing from Hamilton and Vettel. They said they don't allow drivers to go to there, but actually they have them every day to talk to John Todt and all that. I mean, maybe they don't exactly pay too much attention, but stuff. The MGH recovers energy from turbo. It also helps spin up turbo element in turbo lag. Element. So we're gonna have turbo lag. Yes.
Yeah. And also they're going to be standardizing the control electronics and I think the suspension.
I think so.
I mean, I think they're bringing back active suspension, as far as I remember.
Oh, I know they're having biometric gloves next season. If you don't know what they are, I'll just give you a quick one. Basically, Red Bull uses these. They can tell you how the drivers are feeling. So for Verstappen, it's probably just red all the time, and Ricardo's probably just happy. But there you go. So it basically just gives you like the heartbeat, the heart rate, like how they're feeling. Really, it's a bit futuristic. But it's pretty cool. I mean, Red Bull have been using it for, I think, 2-3 years now, and they've clearly not gone well for some drivers.
Yeah, and as Dylan points out there, the MGH is a very expensive piece of kit.
Yes, but however, like, everyone wants to use it. I know Mercedes, Ferrari, like, Renault will say that it's kind of a thing they do really want to get rid of it, because that is really necessary for road cars, but I suppose, I mean, in a sport, I mean, you can't really put a road car and an F1 car together. I mean, that's why they have the hybrids, because they want to be more road friendly. I mean, but now they've got Formula E, I suppose, which is really kind of the eco-friendly version of F1, and looks amazing, by the way. Have you seen Formula E cars, the next gen cars? Oh my god.
Yeah, they really amped it up, to say the least.
Beautiful, to say the least. I mean, I can't. They are basically, well, they are as close to a closed cockpit as anything else. They kind of looks like the Red Bull Juniors from this game, really. Well, not this game. I meant GT Sport, I suppose.
But then we move to the new IndyCar regs, and new IndyCar regs are louder and faster.
And V6s.
They already have V6s.
Ah, well, they sent the V8s on this game.
They're just making them louder and faster.
I always thought they had V8s.
They had V8s
2-3 years ago?
Up until the... No, they had V8s 2 or 3 years ago. I think it might have been early 2000s for V8s. This car is definitely a V6 as far as I know.
Oh. 30 laps to go. Yeah, that is true. 30 laps to go in this motor race here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. It may be a V8, but I'm pretty sure it's a V6.
Dylan says F1 needs ground effect. There is a very valid reason they don't have ground effect. And that is generally because ground effect is very easy. If something breaks, they are flying off into a barrier at very high speeds.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. Because there was a serious accident. I know technology has changed from the 70s. Bring back the fan cars. It's a twin turbo V6. Well, that's why. So it is a V6. So louder and has now, I think, 800 or 900 horsepower. These cars have a big 600. They're going to up it by another 200-300.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I think they're keeping it. I think this is IndyCar, by the way. Even though they're making it louder and faster, they're keeping it naturally aspirated.
Yep. Well, they're going to have the twin turbo. Ground effect would be scary AF. No. Also come back on the Nordschleifer.
Oh god.
Classic Spa. Don't on about. Brilliant circuit, isn't it, Soup?
Demolish Spa entirely.
Bring back the old one.
Bring back the old one.
Well, just open the gate, I suppose, and just say that way.
Yeah, just open the side gate. Just go that way instead of that way.
But,
and I did point in my room,
well.
by the way. I am pointing.
Oh no.
We're nearly there.
Where is it? 27 laps to go. We're nearly done. Rosberg has shown his support for the ground effect.
Go.
27, I suppose. Well, what Rosberg? That's the point. There's two of them.
Keke, well, I don't think Keke really cares, to be honest.
I think, well, yeah, I mean, Keke... That's the first time I've ever seen Keke drive a car in F1. Well, ever, I suppose, actually. I mean, recently, again, because he doesn't really... He tends to keep quite quiet in recently, since Rosberg's retired. He's only just popped up.
I mean, he is Finnish.
Yes. And also, technically, Rosberg is. But Rosberg's kind of got one of those things, because he's he's born in Finland but has a German accent, but has always lived in Monaco. All his life. Yeah, work that out, I know. I mean, so technically he's closer to be Monegasque, but Charles Leclerc is definitely Monegasque. He was born there and raised there, and his grid kid he had was actually his nephew.
His cousin.
His cousin.
It wasn't his nephew.
Nephew. It was his cousin. I know, right? Monaco is a small place.
It's tiny.
Well, it's
tiny.
You can fit the circuit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can fit this and I also believe the Vatican inside of the Nordschleife, and it'll be loads of room spare. That's how small.
You could probably fit it inside the infield of this circuit, to be honest.
Actually, I think you can. Like, you can fit the Vatican easily in.
Oh yeah, easily. But, yeah, the micronations are very interesting. I mean, you've got Imola, which is not in Italy, it's in San Marino.
Yeah, that's, yeah, and you've got, the Luxembourg Grand Prix, which is not the Nürburgring, but yeah, they got away with it. They got away with it. That is the most cheekiest thing ever, by the way.
Yeah. So, Infinity's, I think, is about to come up to a pit stop shortly.
I think so. I think 183 laps. I think that'll go straight to the end. How much fuel's Vettori got? Yeah, he'll come in about 10 laps to go then. 185, well, not 180. He might get to the end. Well, he might actually, because, well, Infinity is a little more ahead. Vectro's got Joshua behind him, I think. Well, someone's got someone behind him. Has he lost someone?
No, I'm just noticing that Thomas actually got past Joshua Luke in the pit stops.
I wonder why something changed. Thomas is up to the podium. He didn't notice that. So there is a potential battle.
He's got to make a stop.
Yes, he has got to make a stop. So, there's it's Infinity coming to lap Vectro.
Two cars are together.
Let's see how it's done. Watch Vectro pull to the inside, lift off, and allow him through. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
And that puts him 4 laps down.
Yes, so I think he's actually doing this tactically. If I was him, I would put it into lean mix now and just cruise. He can do it. He's 22 laps to the end, technically, and he's 4 laps down. So this without pitting again, potentially. Well, you think he's coming in this lap, or he's on next lap, or maybe the lap after it. Oh dear. We have lost Soup Cooler. I don't know what has happened to him. I think he maybe has disconnected. I'll see if I can get him back in quickly there. I hope he hasn't disconnected fully. Let's see. Has he disconnected fully? Otherwise, we might have a bit of an issue. Let's see if he can change cameras, or he might be stuck looking at Infinity. Well, this could be awkward. So, we have a slight issue. I think we've lost Soup. I will see if I can get him back in. So we could have a small issue here. And he is offline, so we may have a small issue. A slightly small issue. So his internet has a small issue. So we have lost Soup. This is all. Well, this is kind of a small issue. Don't worry, we are looking at Infinity so far, your leader. We have unfortunately lost our co-com, but don't worry, this could be worse. We still got Infinity leading. At least we're looking at Infinity, I suppose. We just made a pit stop just a few moments ago. Let's hope that we can get a return for Soup. I'll keep you company there. Just restarting, so I'm going to send Soup an invite back to the party, and hopefully we can get him back in a few moments' time. So just bear with me for a brief second here whilst we just get our good old friend back in the party of Soup Cooler, and hopefully he should get back in. I believe you can if he has an invite. He should be able to rejoin. I've sent him an invite to the party, and he should be able to join from there. Right, let's hope Soup can get back in. We're looking at Infinity so far. He's coming up to lap to Thomas. Let's see if he can get past the Thomas, and does do so just about there. Ooh, just about. There's Matty D. We have company. We have company. There we go, company. We're stuck looking at Infinity until Soup potentially gets back. Hello, welcome back. I've gone slightly crazy.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a dull one, hasn't it? Once I think 100 lap mark, everyone seems to sort of throw in the towel.
Yes.
And start hitting the walls.
Well, Infinity and Vector are currently P1 and 2. I can't see what's going on. I think Vector's going to come in soon. But
by the looks of it, Vector's got 29 laps of fuel, so I think he'll be good to the end. I think everyone's pretty much there to the end now.
Yeah, well, Infinity is.
Yeah, everyone's got enough fuel to get to the end, so it's literally a battle between Thomas and Josh for the last step on the podium.
Yes, and well, there's about a 40-second gap between those guys, unless there's a monumental accident. Well, we're kind of just stuck looking at Infinity right now, and hopefully Soup can get back in. I have sent an invite, so we'll find out.
Yeah, it should be able to use the one that we sent at the start anyway.
Let's see if he can get back in. Hopefully he can, otherwise we might have a few issues. Well, we're not going to have too much issues. It wouldn't be looking at Infinity. I suppose we're looking at the leader.
Yeah, we're not looking at the wrong person.
Soup's back online, so it's not over. It's not over yet. We'll keep going. We've got this under control. Well, I suppose, how have you been finding this race? I suppose you've been watching it.
I've been watching, well, since I retired, I've sort of been in the party with Josh, Thomas and Mark, and just sort of, helping them through with strategy.
Now they're all basically out of the race.
Yeah, letting them know where everyone is, yeah. It's also been quite annoying, really, because I've been looking at the times Mark's been setting out front, and yeah, it's just a shame. I would have been able to stick with him,
but death occurred.
I ran out of talent. So
talent ran out. The wall met you. I've witnessed sometimes, especially as a little bit of a thing, I find that the rear tyres, the rear left or the rear right, for some reason gets really cold and then really warm, and then as soon as that happens, you just immediately fly into a wall. Did that happen to you?
No, it was a bit of an odd one. I don't know whether it was the game being a bit funny or whether it was something to do with.
Let's just get Soup back in.
The draft. So yeah, I was behind behind two cars, and I just couldn't stick with it. The tyres were completely fine. It's just the way it was. We have someone back.
I have returned from the depths of hell.
Can you get back into the cameras? Will it let you?
Yes.
Right, change the camera then.
I'm loading in. Hold on.
We're looking at Fogarty. It's alive!
I made it.
Whew, well, 12,
what are you talking about?
13 laps. No, I don't know about nothing. Issues.
Nothing happened.
We got Matt here as well. He's keeping me company. I've gone slightly mad.
Yeah.
Oh no! Victor! No!
He's coming into the pits.
He's alive still. He's gonna make it. Or no.
Hold on, let me get how much fuel he has.
That's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, I suppose he can just relax now, can't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's 3
I
minutes
wouldn't
ahead.
have said so. 3 minutes ahead. Yeah. It'll make things a little bit more
Unless
nervous
he's
than they need to be.
damaged the suspension, but he's going to get a podium either way, unless he has serious issues.
Complete disaster, yeah.
Oh dear.
He has run his mechanics over
He has missed his pit box.
slightly.
Or is that his pit box?
That is his
What
pit
is he
box.
doing? Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Oh, yeah, the mechanics are done.
I don't know what you're seeing on your screen, but everything's okay on my screen.
He pulled into a completly wrong pit box on my screen. Anyways.
I've done that. Okay, that's interesting. Well, Infinity's leading the race. Well, suppose this is going well. We're only, is it 11 laps to go?
9.
Well,
No, sorry, 11.
Yeah,
it's
no.
202, isn't it?
well, everyone's going mine. Everyone's going mad. Oh, God. Any more comments? Standard chat also. What's your favourite F1 track of all time, Matt? You going to join us
Of
with
all
our
time?
decision? Yeah, of all time.
Oh, dear me.
Me and Soup said Spa.
For racing, I'm going to say Silverstone. But for the one lap, ultimate lap, I'm going to say Monaco.
Yeah, I suppose Monaco. Yeah, you can't really change
nothing
it.
Nothing beats nailing an ultimate lap at Monaco on the absolute limit.
I mean, it is that circuit. I mean, there's always more difficult street circuits. I mean, there's Maku, but that's not F1.
Macau.
I don't know how to pronounce. I always
Mixture of Macau and Baku.
Macau. The ultimate street circuit.
Baku. Half of Baku, half of Maku.
Man, we need Macau on this game.
You see, what's going to happen if you have Macau?
insane.
If you have Macau on this game, it's just going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying
Going off
Spa.
tonight's lobby, it wouldn't end
Isn't
well.
that the point?
Yes. I mean, you just have to look at what is it? That area where used that monumental crash happened in the GT, or was it, or the recently?
Yeah.
Where there was like
Yes, yeah.
20 cars, wasn't it? Like Starkler was
Pretty much the whole
amazing.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Lucas de Grassi.
Lucas de Grassi
90 degrees
bottomed
up in the air, staring at the tarmac.
I guess you could make the argument that Macau would be disastrous on this game because apparently people can't turn left for
Yes.
200 laps.
Flare in the chat, Matt, and then put a cow emoji.
Yeah.
That is that I'm done. That is the best that is ever. Nah, brilliant.
I felt that was a slight dig towards me, seeing as I only last 20 laps.
Well, you didn't look. Well, you did better than Fogarty, who's Cole Fogarty, who's still on that for 1 hour and 29
He's still in the
minutes.
pits, yeah.
He's been in that
No,
pit
he's there
lane for.
for 2 hours. 2 hours.
Yes,
He's been in the pits for. It's a long pit stop.
yes. It's a
I
very long
must
pit
say.
stop. Maybe he'll just come out on the last lap.
Is he having a nice dinner?
I think he's probably just sitting here like he's here. Can we give him
You
fifth?
know where he is.
Can he give
You
him
know where he
fifth?
is.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
sat in catering. That's where he
Oh,
is.
he's in catering. Oh, getting catering. Will we give him fifth because he's technically fifth on the game? Can we give that? Will that happen? I don't know.
No.
Oh.
No. Overall results, he's only completed 4 laps, isn't he? I think he ended up upside down.
Yeah, he ended up on fire. Actually, no, he got disqualified because he got hit into the pit lane. By, I believe it was in that massive incident with Ethan and all that lot when, yeah, but, there's been a few incidents involving that. Lap 4, actually. I feel like, yeah, it was lap 4 because that's where that's the lap he's in the pit lane and I think he got knocked into it upside down. I think they've got a sticky rule now explaining the unusually long pit stop. Oh, well, oh, nah. Haas reference.
Yeah, he's had to
6 laps?
He's had to run out to the hardware shop to try and find an air gun.
And yeah, they just can't find it. That's
fine. He's stuck in traffic.
Yeah, he's stuck in traffic. I mean, there is just nothing here. I mean, past the wall there is just silence, I suppose. Just nothing at all. And I have to say, how many people are
surprised the
watching?
fans haven't left.
15 people are watching this, by the way. Thank goodness, you are just legends. And all these
I have to wonder what
400,000...
people are doing with their Saturday nights if they're watching this.
400,000 not horses. I suppose they could be horses. I didn't say what they were. That's a reference.
Are you gender assuming?
No.
Moving on. Lap 198 about to begin.
We're almost there, 5 from the end.
If Infinity
Yes,
crashes in the
boys.
last corner or something, I will just implode.
It has been
Oh,
a
hello,
really,
Dan.
really
Xbox
well
and PC only did 100 laps. We're the real cheese. We did 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
it.
us on PS4, the real troopers we are. Here we go. Thomas is coming to try and overtake Vector. He's a lap down. I mean, Vector is going to get a podium here today. I don't want to say, Lee's top 3. I believe Infinity is Dutch, and I know Vector is Dutch as well. Well, he's definitely Dutch.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark's Dutch.
So the top 2 are Bolloway at 11:47 right now. Right. So they are almost on a different day right now compared to us. Just gonna give credit where I do. They are probably just sleeping in that car.
People asking for a restart.
what?
Please
No,
don't put
no,
this through again.
no, Matt, don't
I'll
do
take
it.
that. I would take that. Let's go again.
No, I'm not doing another 3 hours. I'll be here until like 8 o'clock the next day.
I might have a chance of winning that one.
Lap 199.
To be fair,
Two more to go.
to Mark, he's
3.
driven absolutely brilliantly. Not a single mistake all race.
He must be so
If he
bored.
crashes now, like
If he does a Hildebrand, I will go insane.
I mean, he doesn't really have to worry because he's got 3 minutes and 32
He's got 3
seconds.
minutes to get the line.
I think
if he
Vector hit the
crashes.
wall in the background there nearly. He's still having a battle.
Lap 200.
We're on the 2 more! Ish! 2 and a bit! Yes! Infinity
But yeah.
on his way to win the Indy 505, I'm calling it. It's a 505. I know you want to call it 500. It's a 505, I mean. Well,
Formation laps count.
yes.
Yeah, lap 201 he's about to begin. He has driven pretty much sublimely throughout this entire race.
201.
Fought off H Racing Green and various.
What happened
other...
to H Racing Green out of instance?
He had an incident with Ethan. He tried to lap him up the
okay.
inside, and Ethan, they kind of just had an incident. Ethan was trying to get out of the way, but kind of just was there, and that's happened.
Tried to
happened to
get
Vector
through
as
in
well.
turn 4.
Oh, that's a shame.
Anyways, yeah, back to
101.
Infinities.
We're coming on to the last lap. I've never witnessed this in my life. 102. PC and Xbox One, eat your heart out. PS4 have done it. 102 laps. Here we go.
202, baby.
202, not 102. Oh god, everything's gone wrong.
Infinities begins the final lap and is on his way to take a dominant victory in the first event of
If
the
he
AOR
disconnects.
Triple Crown, the Indy 500, the most prestigious event on the motorsport calendar.
Do you think he'll stop the car and have a few donuts?
Monaco. Maybe. He's got lots of time to do so. Here we go, down the back straight for the final time.
Here we go.
Comes Infinities towards turn 3 and turn 4. Thank you for staying with us for so long through turn 3. He's got one more corner to go through turn 4. And here we go. It's gonna be Infinities to win the Indy 500 here in Indianapolis. He's finally got to the end. 200 laps. He's won it.
And Vector, look at
Vector.
Vector, he's tearing. He's going to come from 16th to 2nd. My
What
God.
a drive.
Now
And
we
he
wait for
spun as
Joshua
well.
Luke. Yes, and he almost
Yeah,
had
I'm
a
gonna also
he
add
almost
on the
retired
pad.
with Ethan as well, and on the pad.
On the pad, 16th to 2nd. You have people on the wheel who have crashed and
Here
just
comes
rage quit.
Joshua Luke. Coming through the last corner, he's going to round off the podium. He beats D. Thomas by 10, just over 10 seconds. I think D. Thomas has crashed actually, because that gap's in the open. No, he's not.
No, he's
Joshua
crossed the
Luke.
line.
Third position, there's your podium, and the Thomas fourth. Now, just going to say this, can we get a video of Infinity drinking a bottle of milk? Oh, he's crashed it.
Oh,
Oh,
dear.
dear.
He's crashed, actually.
Oh, well. Oh, dear.
Yeah. Anyways.
Can we see him
finally done.
drinking milk?
We made
Can we make
it.
it happen? Can we make that a rule? He has to drink milk now.
Yeah. Can we
Well,
just...
I've already told him in the party that he has to put something on Twitter regarding milk. So
And there is your
he
official
did say that he's
thing.
going to hope he has some at home.
Infinity, Vectro, Joss, to Thomas, Fogarty somehow, but not really.
Look,
I will count it. That 3 DNF. It's a bit weird, Phil. That's not gone well. However,
To sum that entire race up in words, that's not gone well.
from me and Soup, and well, I suppose Matt, because he's really the only person who's been here. That has been an absolutely monstrous race. Thank you for joining us for 202 laps. We will see you next time. This has been AOR. We've been in Indianapolis in the UK because it says it on my screen. It's here. The UK has Indianapolis. We're done. Goodbye.